Hello, and welcome to another episode of The Smut Club, the podcast where smut is better with friends. And friends we have with us.
You know, that's the goal. That it's in the title. It's our mission statement. It's our values.
Our mission statement.
This is the value.
To bring smut to all the friends.
Yes, our goal, similar to how you've evangelized us into Swiftydom.
That's right.
Our goal is to evangelize the girlies, the girls, the gays, the babies, into the world of smut. And I feel that we've done an excellent job so far. We could start listing our converts at some point, actually.
That's right.
Yeah.
I mean, we really are the every person's smut.
Truly, we cover it all.
Yep. Your mom could listen to this podcast and she'd
Be
just
proud, actually.
Be real proud of the content that we bring.
Is that something we should be proud of, though? I don't think so.
Depends on who your mom is.
Depends on the mom.
Yeah, truly.
Mm-hmm.
Well, listeners, if you listened to last week's episode, we covered all kinds of silliness, all kinds of goofiness, including a little SpongeBob moment. So you have that to rewind to
and
hear our
if you're wondering,
nonsense.
how does SpongeBob relate to smut? Well,
listen to the episode.
You'd be surprised.
We were, in fact. We were surprised. Yes, so we are strictly business now because we have got a fantasy book. A fantasy, a romantasy. Yes, there were about
it's
three.
A
there was romantasy. I would love to read the abridged version of Iron Flame, in which it is just actually them fucking. That would be
I would like for Rebecca Yarros to take out about 30% of the plot that happened.
Only 30,
and then replace that with like the times when she was like, "Oh, it was really hot last night."
Come on, man.
Rebecca.
Act like you know what we're here for. Like,
ma'am,
this is...
You wrote Zayden. You wrote that character.
You did that for us.
It is actually a crime against humanity. It is. Yeah. It is a hate crime because I hated it.
Because I hated it.
It is a hate crime.
A hate crime against women.
Against the smut lovers of us all. For you to write a book in which you have created a character such as Zayden Ryerson.
Yep.
A shadow zaddy. It's not okay to write him and then allude to intercourse without descriptors. No.
Pissed.
Big mad.
I've been.
I don't like it.
I've been big mad. As I've read this in the past 24 hours.
I was so angry you all.
Which is, I really was. And I was like, you know what?
Are we all?
I'm just going to be angry.
I was angry.
I remember reading it. It's been a couple of months, I think, since we read it, Katie Bird. But y'all, pissed in the group chat.
I chucked. The book had to go flying.
Yeah,
you warned me.
I told you.
Y'all said, because I got done with Fourth Wing. If anyone wants to go back, if you haven't listened to our Fourth Wing episode,
it's great.
This will only make sense actually if you listen to our Fourth Wing episode because we really cover how much we
enjoyed
love that book.
Yeah,
5 stars.
Fourth Wing lives up to the hype.
So
every
good.
bit of it.
So good.
In so many ways, I feel that ACOTAR specifically did not live up to the hype. Although y'all prepped me properly. Fourth Wing does. 100%.
Yes, 100%.
Holds up.
It was great.
And I was like, well, oh my God, I want to go read Iron Flame now. And y'all both recorded on the pod. You said, give yourself a minute.
Give it a minute.
Give it a minute.
Let it breathe.
Let it breathe,
Let it ride, babe.
Let it breathe.
Actually, it ride on a dragon.
Oh my God.
Actually enjoy this before you go diving in.
Yeah.
So
hang on to that while you can.
Hang on to the joy.
And I wish that I would not have dived off the parapet into this. Into this nonsense.
So bad.
But
not bad. I mean,
there's nuance.
Anyway, so the plot that is there is good. However,
is it
the writing and the amount of exposition dumping, just vomiting exposition at all times, just throwing up exposition left and right. That's not
wrong. Holes.
Wrong. So many fucking wrong holes.
Only wrong holes. Mostly
wrong holes. And let me tell you, if you go back and listen to our Fourth Wing episode, we said that there are wrong holes in that book that we cared about.
Yep.
It is the opposite in this book.
Yes,
oh my God.
So Fourth Wing, pleasantly surprised over and over. I was like,
so
wait
much
a
about
minute.
those wrong holes.
I think I'm a fantasy girly. I could get
fuck with some revolution.
This is some,
Let's go.
yes, because
Fun.
it was the revolution of it all. Like, I love a revolution. American. I'm sorry, trying to be the change I want to see, but yeah, like I genuinely, I mean, I love to cold. Like I'm here to fuck shit up. Couldn't. That's not how Iron Flame went.
It's not how Iron Flame. She different.
She different.
She different. She comes from a different breed.
One of my other girlfriends who is a smut reader, added Iron Flame to her DNF pile very quickly. And I was upset.
For one thing,
I tried
more
to talk her
power.
out of it a little bit, and she was firm. And she's a girly
On principle.
who's not always firm. One of my redheads.
She'd be listening to the podcast.
She'd be we love her. We love her.
I told her I was going to shout. I was like, I'm going to talk about you.
Respect
in the podcast.
Respect to your redhead, because
I respect it.
Yeah,
and was she
value.
wrong? I don't know. I mean, I'm glad to have read it,
the
and
sex
I will
scenes.
read the next. Like, I'll keep reading the series, but I get it.
I'm just disappointed.
I know.
I'm not mad. I'm disappointed. No, I'm mad and disappointed.
I'm a little mad. It's like when I finished Silver Flame in the ACOTAR series, I was like, I'm gonna fucking keep reading it, even though I'm pissed.
Begrudgingly.
Sure. Like, I'm going to hear you out.
Right.
But
here's what's interesting, and the neurospicy among us will understand. It's actually, it actually becomes physically painful at a certain point. If you've lost interest, it actually stops being possible. Because the only thing that keeps me doing the thing that requires the attention, that requires the executive functioning, is a modicum, a shred of interest.
Yeah.
And sometimes I have to create interest. Sometimes I have to make something interesting. Like emails, despise them. I have to make them interesting. I have to incentivize. I have to make them interesting. The only thing that kept me going was the possibility of them fucking again. And then once they did, I'm not saying I didn't finish. I'm saying
she knows what she needs to know.
I'm saying that I know what I need to know.
Yeah.
I'm saying that I've been briefed. I've been updated. I've been given some synopsis past the final sex scene. We are doing our best over here. And Iron Flame, we talked to a friend the other day who loved it. And I'm curious. I hope our listeners share. If they love this more than Fourth Wing, I want to know.
There are a group of people out there that think Iron Flame is better than Fourth Wing. And you know what? I personally think that's an incorrect opinion to hold. However, you are entitled to that opinion.
Yeah.
And if you think that this book is better because of
you're entitled to it.
that one fucking great sex scene, sure.
That was a really good sex scene.
But we cannot qualify. We cannot say an entire book. I'm looking at the physical
Especially
copy.
one that's this many fucking
we have the
pages.
physical
How many
copy.
pages is it?
Oh, she's 600 something.
620 pages, girl. One good sex
scene.
really good sex scene.
Y'all,
but come on.
Well,
that
Be
was
so
too
fucking
much.
for real with me.
Are you being so fucking for real right now?
Read all of this.
It wasn't right.
I think that we talked about. Don't do it to yourself. Look at that. Katie Bird just read the last page inexplicably.
I'm just pissed.
Stop it.
I'm going to read it later for the
Stop
benefit
it.
for the plot.
Well, so that we can relive it. Yeah. We want to relive this anger together.
I want to put myself through that again.
Yeah.
I really want to.
Yeah, we're gluttons for punishment, truly. But a quick book description on Goodreads. For those of us who need a refresher, can't imagine why anyone would need a refresher on this book, because it was all so memorable, and so those details really
understood everything
stuck
that
in there. Really
I cared
tracking
so deeply about all.
I cared, and those names made so much sense.
I know that at least one time I wrote in the shared note that we have, does anyone know what's going on here?
No.
Like, something's happening in the library. Does anybody know? Anybody know what's going
Nobody
on?
knows.
Anybody?
We don't know.
Actually, no, there are scrolls there. Cool.
Yeah.
Cool. We'll touch a lot of this once we get to the points. I don't think that we'll forget any of it. But the book description on Goodreads, this is written by the publisher, ? And then I'm going to read our review because I think it's going to be good.
I'm actually nicer than I should have. I'm nicer than I should have been in the
Generous.
Oh, well, this is
A
where
generous review.
We can be scathing. The first year is when some of us lose our lives. The second year is when the rest of us lose our humanity.
Yeah. We done heard that before.
Didn't Voldemort say that? I'm going to be swapping names, y'all, because I can't remember the actual names. So
I think Dane said that.
Exactly. Okay, so case in point.
Yeah, Voldemort.
Voldemort
Exactly.
said it. Zayden Ryerson. Oh, Zayden Ryerson saying that, but he didn't originally say that. Okay. Everyone expected Violet Sorrengail to die during her first year at Basgiath War College. Violet included. But threshing was only the first impossible test meant to weed out the weak-willed, the unworthy, and the unlucky.
Oh.
Well, we gotta focus so much on death.
I think
I don't care.
Also, I don't think we talked about this in the first one, but thrush is gross. Like
Thrush
when you
is
get
gross.
thrush in your thrush. Oh, thank you.
Thrush.
Okay,
But too
thrush.
close. Too close.
The word is gross.
Threshing?
Thrush. I don't
Isn't
like
that with wheat? Isn't that when you're...
no, it is,
thresh.
it is threshing with an E.
Yes, but like thrush is
in
the
your
condition
mouth,
of
a gross
Yeah.
thing that
Like
happens. Which
a
no
fungi.
shame on, bodies get sick sometimes.
Yeah, sure.
Thank you. Bodies get sick. And
like, I don't need to be thinking about that with the dragon.
we can
like,
think of cool names.
I don't.
We don't gotta.
threshing.
But here we
making stuff
are.
Okay.
But
Anyway.
thrashing was the only the first impossible testament to weed out, blah, blah, blah. My mom used to do that, and now I'm like, yeah, I get it, though. Blah, blah, blah.
Blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
And
then you
whatever.
go-
we
we
got-
get it. We got it.
Blah, blah, blah. The entire
Turbo.
book
Whole
was
book.
it, blah, blah, blah.
I am upset.
Now the real training begins, and Violet's already wondering how she'll get through. How will she? Because she's not getting laid enough. It's not just that it's grueling and maliciously brutal, or even that it's designed to stretch writers' capacity for pain beyond endurance. Why do we read this book? It's the new vice commandant who's made it his
Commandant. Sorry.
It's the new vice commodore. It's the new vice
It's a yeah, it's a French word.
commandant.
Commandant.
It should be don. I shouldn't be saying the T, right? Who's made it his personal mission to teach Violet exactly how powerless she is until she betrays
That guy-
the
that
man
guy-
she loves.
That guy did suck.
That guy really did suck. That's
I didn't
what
care about that
Voldemort-
plot line. I
was a
deeply
bummer.
cared about that one.
Vassar.
Varish,
Vafar?
Varish.
You know what's fun about switching between audio book at 3.5 speed?
No.
might I add,
No, ma'am.
And a physical Kindle, not physical, but like actual words, is that I didn't know.
Any of the names. Yeah, you're like, who?
Yeah, I think
Who's that?
Varish, and then there's a Viscount
Someone.
Tyrandor.
I couldn't. I had trouble tracking.
Yeah.
At times.
Just so many characters.
There were times that
Although Violet's body might be weaker and frailer than everybody else's, she still has her wits.
No,
and the
we've
will
been
of
through
iron.
this.
Girl.
Violet is not we. Oh,
And a leadership. So that's a good point. Okay, I don't even want to cover the rest of this. I want to read our review real quick. But we get the plot because yes, it's just
Do
all
we?
political intrigue. But the I saw, and with the greatest respect, I worked in the disability community, advocacy community for many years, and now work in counseling. But I saw a beautiful like award or something that like pointed out that
Yeah.
Violet portrays
Yeah.
a very strengths-based, very
For
strengths-oriented, a very equity-oriented.
Yes.
We're not talking about equality. We're talking about
accommodating-
equity.
yes.
Right.
We
Yes.
are bringing things up.
Leveling
Yeah.
the playing field.
Yeah.
So I especially in Fourth Wing, but in here in several places, I really did appreciate like, hey, she requires some modifications and accommodations in order to
100%.
access
Yeah.
the same things.
Her dragon is an advocacy king.
Yes. So that was really fun.
Great.
And even with and we're not saying that anyway, but I feel like the emphasis was really good with that. But she's not weaker. We're not gonna.
She's not weak. She just
requires different.
exactly.
And I thought we had covered that pretty in depth. So for that to be how they talk about,
Yeah,
did I see a
strange.
TikTok or something? I definitely encountered the idea that this was like
A ghostwriter.
clearly a ghost-written second book, that she was under so much pressure to publish because Fourth Wing was having such a moment.
It blew up
and-
so
Do you
fast,
think?
so hard, and
I
so
mean,
fast.
it just is so much worse. It just is. It just,
That's what
it's
people-
very different.
So it's so much worse, but with so much more detail. When we think
Yeah.
of being on a deadline,
Right.
you know what I would write if I was on a pressured deadline?
Everything.
Sex. I would just write little. I would get
yeah.
really.
The opposite. Of,
I would do the opposite of what
Yeah.
if I were under a deadline.
Yeah.
I wouldn't write this because this takes more
yeah.
effort. This is more detailed and more world building. That's not.
And I feel like reading, I always like reading the like acknowledgments at the end of a
Yeah.
book, and I feel like a lot of authors always talk about the editing process, and so it just makes sense to me that this was a rushed,
Yeah.
like people
It
didn't
was
have
1
enough
year.
eyes on this to like, this is
Well,
like
and
an
from
early
a-
draft actually, like
From a
this has
capitalist
many notes.
perspective, from like a the
Like a
society we live in,
demand.
like
Yeah.
it doesn't really matter if this is a good book or not. Because we already said it. We already said we bought it. We read it immediately. Or y'all did. We're going to read the next one.
Yeah,
It doesn't have to be good.
It's true.
Like from a publishing, like making money standpoint.
Which is such a shame because I think we still would have read it if she had taken another year to write it.
100%.
Like I still would have been hyped to read
SJM
it.
takes a minute.
Yeah, don't
So many
rush.
times,
Like
yeah.
let me. Like it's worth it.
Yeah.
And we can like bask in the glow. We're not going to forget.
Yeah, I'm not gonna forget.
Just
the
build
longer you
stoke.
wait, actually, I'm gonna read the first one again. If you wait
I'm
long
going to buy
enough,
a different copy.
and
Release
then-
a second edition with a bonus scene.
Yeah,
Sure.
or like
We're
make
not in
the one that
publishing.
matches this one and like
Yeah.
Right.
We're not in publishing, but we're consumers.
Yeah,
And you know what? We have thoughts.
yeah.
And,
I just don't.
put us in a focus group.
We're ready.
Put us in a,
We have opinions.
Hey, editors, you want us to come
reader,
tear
give us
apart
some
your books?
ARCs. We honestly,
I mean, for real, like,
do you
as-
know how helpful we would be to the community?
but in reality, like, if
Yeah,
you
thoughts.
are wanting to appeal to a general audience who's gonna like people like us who like I don't read fantasy books for this specific reason. I don't give
Yeah.
a fuck about all
Yeah.
of this random crap you're throwing at me. I
Right.
don't care.
I love fantasy characters
Yes,
and
sure.
their relationships.
Yeah.
That is cool.
I love the magic. I
Enriched
love
with-
the dragons even.
I'm not
Yeah.
anti-fantasy. But it's this. It's the
Yeah.
political intrigue and the war
And it really
the,
wasn't. I didn't feel that way about the first one.
Yeah,
it was
no,
just
it was
the right
enjoyable.
amount of like intrigue for me to feel hooked on
was
it.
like-
And then it was like we're doing all
Exactly.
this history, and now we're really excited about the twist of like the brother's been alive this whole time.
Yeah.
If we were to use an episode of Star Wars
Mm.
to compare Iron Flame to, are we saying Phantom Menace?
It's in the Phantom Menace, like Attack of the Clones, like in those first two where you're like, what is going?
What
at least,
are we
but at least in the
doing
second
here?
one, we have the interest of Anakin falling in love
That feels
with Padme.
Yeah.
Adorable.
We
Thank God.
In the first
Yeah.
one,
I don't care.
there's pod racing.
Oh my God.
That's the argument there.
Jar Jar Binks.
No, ma'am.
Yeah.
No, ma'am.
Are we serious right now?
Come on.
And so, as you can see,
We had
Star,
some Jar Jar
Star Wars
Binks.
fans, we are into it, okay? Like,
Yeah,
we
like,
can get behind some fucking revolution,
I'm
okay?
Sure.
I'm not like, for those of you who are like, oh, they just don't understand fantasy. Like,
I have
no,
an R2D2
no.
backpack, folks. Like, okay, I can, you know.
Yeah, come
I've
on.
read the Star Wars books,
Yeah.
actually. So
We can fuck with. That's not the problem.
But-
the
and-
issue is not fantasy.
In
the
fact, that
difference-
qualifies us even more to say what we're saying.
Yeah, and the difference there is that like Star Wars is trying to appeal to a general audience, people
Yeah.
who like can be interested by a love story and by action and by fighting something that this great evil thing. Like we are all banded together to fight
Let's
this
have
one
a
thing.
revolution.
Sure,
Right.
amazing.
Right.
We love it.
Harry
There's-
Potter, like we
Perfect. Fine.
Same thing
Great.
with Hunger Games. Like Hunger Games created
Yeah.
this whole entire new world with all this crazy technology that you can't really imagine because it's not real.
Yeah.
But Suzanne Collins did it in 400 pages.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
we don't need it's just increasingly frustrating to like weed through all of this stuff to get to the stuff that you actually care about.
Yeah.
And it is frustrating to invest that much. Time is money.
Yeah.
I am, and I speak out about my own stuff because I know that it helps other people feel seen and heard. Like it takes me a minute. My attention and my time is limited.
Yeah.
I'm doing this for the podcast and for the people I love. But like to invest my limited
Yeah.
time and attention into this is just like, I think we
I'd
have a right
rather
to be
not.
frustrated.
I'd rather
I
not,
think we have
really.
a right to feel frustrate. So your redheaded friend.
I respect it.
I see.
I respect it.
Now, our listeners are Smut Club. They are Smut Club babies. They love some smut. And so we are here to also review the smut and to say, like, to affirm, to applaud.
Oh, we will
Say
be
about
reading
that.
some
The smut's good.
some
That's
direct
good.
quotes that
Yeah.
it worked, folks. Like
So we will cover
Yeah.
some of that goodness.
yeah, we love Zayden Ryerson in this house.
Sure we do.
We stand by him, and that is why we will continue to read these series because
Yeah.
of the character that she built in the first book.
Notice we say
I-
character
And
singular.
it will be
Yeah.
in spite of
Yeah.
whatever happened in this book.
I'm also here to say that I saw on the TikTok someone was speculating that the long game is a Zayden, Violet, lovers to enemies arc. No.
Rebecca enemies should not exist.
No.
Actually,
Rebecca, if you're listening,
Hard no.
if anyone knows how to contact her,
Hard no.
Please tell
don't do
her,
that to us.
I will DNF this series so
Please
fucking
don't.
my
fast.
people will
Please
talk to
don't.
her people. Actually,
we're
in a position of a little bit of power.
Yeah.
We can actually.
We will boycott. We are
will
done.
boycott.
We're
we will,
big mad.
Of all the things going on in this world right now,
we have time.
in an election year,
We have.
we
We have
will
time.
boycott this.
Yes. I'm not.
I will
Don't do
DNF
it to
this
us.
series so fucking fast.
Don't do it.
Especially if it's Dane.
No,
If
she would
you
never.
ever
Surely
consider
not.
putting them together.
Come on.
You've lost me. Like, I'm done.
There's
actually.
no.
You're losing me.
Exactly. This is like if Bella had ended up with Jacob in Twilight. No! Incorrect ending.
Well,
I don't care. Team
Hope and I
Edward.
are like, oh, that meme with the girl goes,
I'm just gonna say that Jacob kissed her without her consent, and that is it for me.
Okay,
The Twihards.
That's
I'm just gonna say that I fell asleep in Twilight 1, so in A New Dawn or whatever.
You missed
so.
the forced kiss, and it's upsetting
That's
to watch.
okay. I stand by that. Some
It was
things
upsetting to watch. That's
some
true.
things are really important to see at the developmental stage in which it was meant to be seen.
Yeah,
and it's hard
so
to watch
true.
as an adult.
So true.
But okay, our
Anyway.
review on Goodreads. Cue breathy reading.
That's right.
The much anticipated sequel of Fourth Wing arrived to take readers on a wild ride through an exciting, albeit somewhat confusing, plot and continue to make us fall more in love with the characters we met in Book 1. Despite the ongoing political intrigue and romance to die for, Iron Flame absolutely suffers from the faded second book syndrome. It really does. I don't know. I think this is worse than second book syndrome. This is something else.
This is a different disease.
Yeah, this is a
something else.
comorbidity.
Yeah.
This is a co-occurring disorder.
co-occurring,
Yes. This book dumps readers into a murky pond of plot. Good work.
Thank you.
Good work. Oh, yes, y'all. This review is written by Katie Bird. That's a standard. We have standards here. That occasionally made us experience deja vu as we read similar sequences of events 3 or 4 times over. That's true. That's why I got so lost.
The same sequence of events will happen multiple times with different characters.
Yeah.
And it's like,
It's this like
What are we doing?
rhythm, this roller coaster of like
Yeah.
we're doing this exact thing again with the same people.
Yeah.
Yeah. Similar sequences of events 3 or 4 times over, including our protagonists having the same argument throughout the book and never actually resolving it.
oh, that made me so fucking angry.
Yeah.
I think we'll probably cover that. I think we'll probably get to it thoroughly. That being said, second book syndrome, capital S, capital B, capital S, cannot detract from the fact that this is overall an excellent book with an exciting plot centered around a revolution effort we can all get behind and a dynamic cast of characters with some new faces to love or hate. You wrote this on March 23rd.
I wrote this a while ago. I updated it
You
last night.
edited it last night.
Yeah,
Okay,
I
was
wrote
gonna
a short frame of one a while ago, and then I did
Okay.
it last night.
say. Do you stand by excellent book?
You're being too nice.
I was being too nice.
I respect that you kept it in at the time. And now that you've had some time to breathe
To
and
digest.
to reread.
and I think
Did you
now-
read it again?
I know.
I listened to it recently. Well, I guess
She's
I finished it.
dedicated.
Yeah.
You're
For our
dedicated.
listeners.
Yeah, that's very studious of you.
I think
did
because
not.
I've gotten used to being more critical of books that we read on this
Yeah.
podcast, I'm now being more honest in my reviews. I think
Yeah.
if I had been in a space to write a more honest review, I would have been a little bit more mean.
I do think, I mean,
I
reviews
don't
are
think it's-
subjective.
I don't think it's an excellent book.
Some people
I will probably
might-
go and change that.
Our subjective opinion is that it is not.
I think
an
it's badly
excellent book. But we hold space. People may feel otherwise. If you are all in for the spicy spice in book 1, you are in for a treat in book 2. Rebecca Yarros upped the stakes and the smut for this book. The smut, I think the smut's a little more descriptive.
More descriptive.
Yeah.
And different, I think.
Oh, yeah. We mix it up. I appreciate that. We're not
Yeah.
just doing missionary style.
Sure.
Zayden Ryerson is everything we want in an MMC. Touch her and die. morally gray, mysterious past, loves to be on his knees, literally worships Violet in every sense of the word, and has a mouth that will make you blush to read in public. The spicy scenes, though perhaps few and far between.
Yes.
Well, it's
Very few and very, very far between.
very few and far between because it's 1,000 pages long. The spicy scenes, few and far, blah, blah, blah. Clearly all... Okay, sorry. Can't do a blah, blah, blah. Perhaps few and far between are worth trudging through what is clearly all exposition for upcoming book 3 in the Empyrean. I hear it all the time. I read it all the time. Can't say it. Shadowzadi knows what we like, and isn't that why we're here in the first place? It really is. That's why we're here. That's why we're reading. We read it.
And that is the only reason we will continue to read this series is because of him. So Rebecca, if you're listening, he is the only reason that I will continue to read this book.
It's him.
So help me God, if y'all do not find
Holy
whatever
fucking shit.
serum changes him back from the bloodshot creepy dude, then...
No, we're not there yet.
Okay.
We're not there yet.
Come on.
Iron Flame comes to a crazy, devastating, world-changing conclusion in the last 10 pages. SJM. It's giving SJM. But in a bad way. Leaving readers completely stunned and concerned for the direction of the rest of the series. And we're right there with y'all. As is true for most fantasy series, we are left reeling after the lessons of the book. And that leaves us to simply wait for the fate Rebecca Yarros has in store for our hearts in the next book and reread Fourth Wing, obviously. Yeah, like that's the only thing you can do is reread Fourth Wing because we're not going to reread this.
Oh, look, I did reread it, and let me tell you, it was harder the second time.
It was harder the second time
because you knew that you were.
I was already because I was angry going into it. Yeah,
exactly.
Because like when you read Iron Flame the first time, it is full of hope. You're like, let's fucking go, revolution, and then you get to the end, and you're like, oh my god, are
but
you
that's
serious?
what's so annoying is like we are sexually frustrated and politically frustrated.
Yeah,
because we're wanting the plot to go somewhere, and it don't.
I don't.
Okay. Well, those are our thoughts from the top, from a 1,000-foot view.
Yeah.
If we were to kind of dig in a little and kind of break down some themes, if we go to the group chat and we pull up our
shared note. Now, Smut Club members, you know how this goes. This is fucking spoilers for days. We're going to walk you through this whole entire plot. So if you haven't read this book and you deeply care about spoilers, you want to leave right now. So
this is also a pretty extensive shared note, to be fair. This is like...
Yeah.
I tried to edit some of it out, but there's just...
Well, there's so much to cover. There's so much to cover.
I could not tell you what is important and what is not important.
No, I don't know.
A lot of times in books, I'm like, okay, well, we can talk about this, and it will encompass a lot of this area.
Right.
But there were things that were happening where I'm like, if I don't mention this, will we ever talk about it? I'm not sure.
Yeah.
I don't know what's going on.
Right.
Yeah.
And for those of you who really enjoyed the plot of this, because we talked to somebody who did, so someone
Please
exists.
explain it to me. Maybe
So
I'm
weird.
stupid.
It's above us.
It's above me. That's it.
That's actually what it is.
Yeah, that must be it.
I'm not to that level.
We
yet.
aren't turned on by political intrigue, and that's the problem.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Y'all, the reunion. We kick it off because we ended Fourth Wing with surprise. Your brother, dead for 6 years, is alive.
Woo. Here
he is risen.
He is risen. Amen.
So there was a death of their relationship and a birth of a beautiful siblinghood.
That's right.
A reunion. The reunion of Violet and Brennan. Yeah, that was beautiful.
Yeah, so this book opens with basically it picks up exactly where Fourth Wing left off. We were in the room with Brennan and Xaden, and we're like, oh my god, something is crazy is happening. Brennan and Violet are talking about what is happening in Arisha. Like they are.
Yes.
It is a rebellion. It is a revolution. But then Violet points out that he's using the word revolution as in he thinks that they are going to win this revolution. They are going to win and they are going to be successful.
Yes.
Over the Venin, over the current government that is hiding the Venin from the people. That is the underlying plot.
Right.
I think.
The whole
time.
that's right. I think that's right.
And we have master's degrees, and we think that's the plot.
We're pretty sure.
Yeah.
The government, General Soren Gale and Colonel Ados, they are all hiding. Captain Mommy.
Mom.
Evil Daddy. They are all hiding these big bad things from the people, which is bad. It's very bad.
Yeah.
And so the revolution effort is doing their best to expose this in a way that is like not killing people, and so they're like leaving dead wyvern everywhere.
So And I mean, there's a lot to conversate about that, especially when your dead brother is actually alive.
Yeah.
And when there's this, like, it's Valaris, for those wondering. This is, in case y'all weren't.
Basgaiath,
Basgaiath, yes, if y'all weren't confused
Arisha,
enough.
Terrandor.
Exactly. Yeah. There's skin in the game to have it be a revolution versus a rebellion.
Yeah.
Like, are we going to split? Is this going to be a civil war? Are we going to win?
Exactly.
I think,
Sure.
yeah. So that was
That's the political intrigue, is that this rebellion effort, they think that they are going to win.
But you know what's actually important is the Andarna subplot.
I love Andarna.
I love Andarna. Whenever this is a live action something with a CGI Andarna,
She's
I
puppy.
am
yeah.
invested.
Puppy girl.
Oh,
she
yeah.
kills me every time she
she's
comes up.
so funny.
Hilarious.
She's
an adolescent
so
dragon.
rude, and
It was fantastic.
I had
She's
like
so crabby.
laugh out loud
100.
many times with
dynamic
her, between
of-
her and
Taryn. I love the
very funny.
dynamic.
So funny.
It is so cute.
They're
It's
so bitchy at each other.
Yeah, she's just a teenager, and she's like,
Yeah.
no one understands me. I'm
No one
different.
could possibly understand.
Yeah, none of the other adolescents are bonded. I'm different from them.
Yeah,
So
I'm better, actually.
I'm not going to go play with them. I'm going to go train. I also want to eat all of our allies.
Andarna is all of us.
Yeah, I love her.
In
She's
the
great.
same way that we all are reputation girlies, we
Yes.
also are Andarna girlies.
We're Andarna girlies.
I'm always here for adolescent rage, female rage.
100%.
Yes, it was
Always,
inspiring.
Always.
Colonel Atos thought the squad of marked ones were dead, but surprise, that's our next point. Surprise, motherfucker!
Surprise.
That's
yeah,
the note.
So
Colonel Atos,
he's
for one thing, fuck off.
Boo.
Two, yeah, he thought that the marked ones were dead, but
he sent them to die, actually.
Yeah.
because he wanted for them to die. But wow, that backfired.
Sure did.
because, you
Sure did
know,
backfire.
They had read their names on the death roll that morning, and then they just came strolling in.
That was
and they're
fun.
like,
In
"What's
time
up,
for
asshole?"
graduation.
Yeah,
That was kind of fun.
I
that
love
was
that.
a fun moment.
So that drew me in.
Fine.
I was like, oh,
Yeah,
I'm
great.
kind of invested in this storyline. Like, these were really, this isn't, the book hadn't gone wrong yet.
No.
the beginning of the book actually is great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The exposition is amazing. She
That
did
was
a great job.
interesting.
Yep.
We built it well, but then she got stressed and she handed it off to a ghostwriter. And I'd like to speak to this ghostwriter, actually. Okay, and yes, touch me, and I swear to the gods, I'll cut your fucking hands off. Violet
Beautiful.
to Dane. That
Gorgeous.
was the appropriate response.
100%.
Exactly
That
correct.
was,
Yep.
and then it kind of like, it was in front of everybody, which was also really important.
Also really good.
Dane was a sad, broken puppy this whole book,
Ugh.
and he
Missed me
was
with
just
it.
like,
I hate it.
Why are you so mad at me? And it's like, my dude.
You stole my memories against my consent. Actually.
Yeah, what do you mean?
What do you mean? Why am I
There
mad?
are lots of ways to violate someone. That's a pretty solid one. And I think, touch me, and I swear to the gods, I'll cut your fucking hands off.
I'll cut your fucking
That
hands
brought
off.
me a lot of joy.
Yep.
The next quote: the next time you think about reaching for her face, I want you to remember one word: Athenbine. Zayden to Dane. Perhaps y'all can refresh my memory. What did Zayden do in Athenbine?
Athenbine is where they were sent. To
Where they
die.
were sent.
That's where they killed the
yes.
Venin, and that's where.
but they saved lives.
That's where Liam died.
That's where Liam died.
And so, yeah, Zayden is making a point to Dane that Dane, your dad, is fucked, and
Don't
we're good.
do that.
We're not doing that anymore.
Back off.
And Dane's whole excuse was like, well, my dad said that he just needed information and I gave it to him. I didn't know it was going to happen. The fuck?
Okay, Dracoy.
Draco.
Dracoy Malfoy.
Dracoy.
Dracoy Malfoy.
Actually, you are so right.
Yeah.
That's what that is.
Yes.
Is it's Draco's argument the whole time. It's like, well, I didn't know what my dad wanted, and it's like,
Girl,
well,
use your context clues a little bit, babe.
sweetie,
Come on.
exactly. So it gets tricky.
And I think they tried to set Dane up for this plot of like like you don't know what you don't know, and if you learn through experience, you learn from feedback through other people, and I think
Sure.
they tried to give him like a learning curve there, but I just didn't buy it. I don't
think
care.
If you want to have a dynamic character like that goes from like, I'm gonna fuck the codex until I come, and then to flip to the other side and be like, I am now part of the revolution, you can't have him betray his best friend that he's been friends with his whole life.
Yeah.
And then send her to actually die. You have to do something else. There's a different way to do that.
That's not the way.
I was expecting like him to change teams, and it didn't.
It didn't work for me. I was not interested in it, actually.
And a redemption arc.
No, I'm not
redemption arc.
Redemption arc.
And like when they were...
He's blonde, obviously. We've covered this.
Oh, he's blonde as hell.
Definitely.
Blonde as hell.
Yeah.
When he and Violet were translating that
It's real
journal...
Nazi energy.
They were like, we're huddled over the journal together.
Rolf.
Yeah,
Sorry.
they're like, we're huddled over that journal together for night and day and night and day. And I'm like, ma'am. No.
No.
For what? Get away. Get away
We're
from
not
him.
friends with Dane anymore. Like, he lost that privilege. Like, no.
You can't. That's not how our loyalties work, actually.
I mean, we say it all the time, trust is earned and not given. We're done, actually. There's nothing you can do to earn my trust back, man. Like,
It was too big of a breach.
Yeah.
We're not going to recover.
Liam is dead. Liam is dead. So,
I know.
we're done, actually.
I know. Samwise Gamgee is dead.
Samwise Gamgee
I'm going to continue, y'all.
Yes.
And
You're
you wanted
welcome.
us to be dead. Like,
Exactly.
you can't.
Zayden could have died.
Yeah. I could have. You tried to kill me.
You tried to kill me.
What do you mean?
We're not going to be friends.
You can't touch me. You tried to your dad, but like no.
And just the slimy way that he went about it, where it was just like, oh, this is just how we interact. I just touch her face all the time. It's so innocent and so sweet.
I hate it.
Oh, and the way and it's just like now every single time that he has touched her face, it's like, oh, was it then? Was it then? Like, yeah.
Creepy dude. Creepy dude. Next point. Zayden has to go really far away and can only see his violence once a week. Big frowny face.
Yeah, very upset about that, actually.
It's a quote. Anticipation is good for us. Not for me, though.
It's really not good for
That's
me.
your quote. Yeah, it's not for me. The push and pull, the tension, the LDR, the long distance relationship. Only interesting that one time when she went away without leave. That was hot.
That was so hot. I love that.
That was hot.
That was hot, and that
That's
did
true.
move the plot forward.
We got some stuff.
Yeah.
Maybe it's okay just for that reason only.
Okay.
I found it very annoying that clearly Varish, however you want to say it, was plotting against them meeting up because he knows like something's going on. I don't want them to meet up. But to have the leave taken away for whatever reason over and over and over again, like she would go to him, but Zayden would be working, or he would come to her and she would be in torture training. Like, it's just like to have them be in the same space but not be able to actually interact with each other was another reason it was frustrating for them to be in an argument and not be able to resolve it because they couldn't ever fucking talk.
Yeah.
God forbid that they be able to speak to one another.
Yeah.
We wouldn't want that. That would be too satisfying for the readers. The next point is Dane Atos, wing leader, with 2 vom emojis. Yeah.
I mean, we're not shocked.
No.
Yeah,
There's no justice in the
Of course,
world.
he's the wing leader because he follows the rules.
Boo.
Yeah. Next point. But squad leader Rihanna.
Yes. Go, bitch.
Go, bitch.
That was great.
Love that for her.
I was very stoked about that. I
think-
wasn't sure who was going to get to be the wing leader. I mean, the squad leader.
Yeah.
So I was very pleasant. I didn't want
good
it to be
people.
Violet.
She didn't want it
I
either.
was very glad that it wasn't her.
Well, she wouldn't have had the freedom to go live and fuck around and do her stuff.
Yeah, and I think Rhiannon and Violet have a great relationship. Their friendship is so sweet.
I know.
Violet's inner monologue is excruciating to read because she's like, I'm keeping all these secrets from Rhiannon and she's gonna hate me. And Rhiannon's the one that's like, hey, you can talk to me. Like,
hey,
it's-
I can
she,
tell
like,
that you're
leaves
keeping
it.
a bunch of secrets.
like,
from me.
and Rhiannon is
Hey, bitch, I can tell that you're not okay. So
you're
whenever
actually not okay. Do you know I could see you?
Yeah.
Did you know that like I can observe you
with my pink
and
hair.
like Rhiannon is actively the whole time trying to figure out like what's wrong, and she's like, "Are you upset with me because I didn't choose you as my second? Like, let's talk about it.
Come
like, Here are
you're
the reasons."
fooling no one. You're clearly not okay.
Yeah.
About it. Yeah.
And don't let Rhiannon carry that. She
Yeah.
didn't do anything wrong.
She thinks that
don't
she's-
let her like
Baby. Our next point. Conscription Day, part 2.
That was tough.
I recall none of that. Sub point is Arich Greycastle.
Arik Greycastle.
Arik.
So he's important because he is somebody. He's royalty.
Oh, and he
Oh,
was
yeah.
pretending to not
His
be.
real name is
That
not
was-
Arik. It's something else.
Something else.
Oh, I definitely had that as like Auric, the vacuum cleaner brand.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, that's the fun of when you listen.
I entirely forgot about that whole plot.
yeah,
So-
well, you know.
And that is one of
Entirely.
the many plot lines in this book that's not resolved or
It's
explained.
just
And
hanging.
Sloane,
Just hanging there.
Liam's sister.
So
So,
that-
yeah.
Sloane comes.
That was great.
I love her.
Sloane, I loved that she was so
I love that she was
mean
angry.
and angry.
Love that.
Yeah.
I thought that was very satisfying.
Truly. I am curious, as we're saying this, of like, hey, there are all these like plot points that we don't understand why this information was dropped and then never comes back. It makes me curious if this will be worked in the rest of the
Oh, I'm
series.
sure. Yeah.
And if it will all make sense, we'll be like, oh yeah, that time, like, oh, and then this is great. So like, we may feel differently about Iron Flame
When it's in its like context of the series a little
when
bit.
it's within like,
I could see
not
it.
to give the benefit of the doubt,
No, I see
but
it.
it does make me curious because
It's clearly a setup that he's like the son of the king or
he's a
whoever.
prince.
Like, yeah.
but he's wanting to go to war.
Yeah, but he's being realistic in a different way about the like civil war of it all. I can see. Yeah, fine. Okay, fine. Like, fine.
I just,
Whatever.
TBD. Hey, maybe not.
Guess we'll see.
yeah. It just was like one of those things where it was like, it was dropped in the middle of conscription day. She was like, oh my God, my friend from childhood. And he's like, my name is actually Auric Greycastle, and you don't know me. And
She's like, okay,
and then
bitch.
that is just never explained
Yeah.
at all, ever.
Yeah.
Well, TBD. We'll see if it weaves in. Next point. Solace
Sure.
tries to hurt Violet, and Daddy Taryn comes to scare the shit out of everyone.
Loved that.
Love.
Taryn is terrifying.
Yeah.
I love him.
Taryn is
Grumpy old man.
brings me a lot of joy.
I highlighted more. I highlighted some quotes from Taryn that just
go.
really cracked me
Good.
up. If Solus comes near you again, he knows I will devour his human whole and let him rot within me while his heart still beats, and then I'll take the eye I so graciously left him.
Yes, sir.
Sir,
That's
eat 'em
our dad.
up.
That's our
Eat
dad
'em
right there.
up.
Yeah. Fuck him up.
Daddy.
Let me tell you exactly
That is our
what's going to
daddy.
happen.
That's our daddy.
Protective. Yeah. He's raising a teen. He's got some
Yeah.
anger.
When, yes, 100%.
He's trying to displace
He's
anywhere
fostering a
else.
teen.
He's got this teen that he's dealing with, and then also the emotions of these like 20-year-olds doing 20-year-old bullshit.
He's in their
He's like,
brain all the time, and he's like, "Oh God, I hate
Get out.
it."
He was
I'm
like,
just
you
trying
need
to
to
fuck my
argue-
lady dragon.
My hot
Just let me
dragon
live.
life.
I have to be separated from my lady dragon because y'all are fucked up.
Yeah, he's like, do you want to go argue with the wing leader some more or what? Like, let's fucking come on.
Let's go.
Yeah, Taryn is all of us.
Taryn is all of us.
love it.
Exactly.
Next point.
Oh my
Colonel
God.
Atos tries to have Violet assassinated. Not the last time that Violet. This is an example of a plot point
So
that is
big, large-
repeated over and over and over and over and over and over.
So it was exciting the first time. Big, large man wants to kill Violet.
Cool.
Great.
Fine.
Violet murders him or something. Stabs him with a knife. I don't know. Daddy Shadows shows up, and he threatens to kill anybody that's going to hurt Violet, which I enjoy.
You
Okay.
can't go around killing cadets. You're an officer now. Watch me.
Okay. I'd like to see it, actually.
Yeah, he did a protect.
I love
That
that.
was actually exactly why. That was
Yep.
hot. That was hot.
This is why we love Zayden.
That's foreplay.
It's hot. And
Yeah.
that is what was hot about
Touch her
Fourth
and
Wing.
die.
Was
Absolutely.
any conversation that they were having was hot. In this book, none of the conversations they were having were hot. It was only arguing all
Yeah.
the fucking time.
Absolutely.
She's like, I hate you. And he's like, okay.
Some of it was hot. Some of it was hot because he's like, yeah, okay, I'll let you fuck around and you can hate me, but I'll show you.
It's hot because Zayden is so steady. He's
Yeah.
like, no, I know that we're in game. So like, I'll be patient. That's what's hot about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
But it wasn't like foreplay banter.
No.
Yeah. Next point, Violet's room is warded by shadows, Eddie.
Hot.
So that was hot because you have to take them by the hand. And then she's like, oh, so only you can, he's like, this is your room.
This is your room. You can bring in whoever you want in here, actually.
Yeah, that was wonderful. I'm
Yeah.
like,
yeah.
he honors her bodily autonomy.
Yes, he
sure does.
Hot.
He
hot.
wants to know that she is choosing him.
Yeah.
So
That was good. We liked that.
I enjoyed that.
appreciated
deeply.
that. The next point, we're writing letters.
Yes, Daddy writing me letters.
That was cute. He wrote the sweetest, just about his life.
That was cute.
Yeah.
Super sweet.
It was also very weird in the middle of their only fighting, though.
Yeah.
It's like, like we're having all these
It's like
cute
love
letters back and forth,
It
but then
was
when we're
like-
together,
It's like
we're just fighting the whole.
we're
I don't know. It
arguing.
was a little disjointed.
Yeah.
But you know how I feel about it. I always like
I love a letter. Well, it's like yours
sexting,
truly.
100%.
like,
Yeah.
opportunity in these books.
That's exactly.
But-
Yes. It's similar to yours truly that we reviewed last. Listeners, go back and listen. We also had thoughts about that book. But where he's like, oh, you really wanted to get to know me? Here's my journal.
Exactly.
And so it's a similar.
I do.
Yeah, it was cute.
I do find it alarming.
Don't read it. I think I have that one.
Just romance, no smut.
oh man.
Read whatever you want. I personally do not recommend this book.
Okay.
Yours truly.
Good.
I do
Great.
find it alarming the way that
Excellent
things
romance book.
are. Yes, the romance is beautiful. The way that things are worded. You know the little blurbs at the beginning of a chapter where it's like,
I love the blurbs.
yeah, it's great. Sometimes it's like a letter from Zayden. Sometimes it's like a
Quote.
information.
Quote from a text.
Yeah.
Or,
Sure.
But the way that the letter ones are worded, it's like recovered correspondence from Cadet Violet Sorgel and Lieutenant Zayden Ryerson. That is alarming to me.
Yeah,
because that
I don't
Someone's
like that.
intercepting
Yeah,
them.
that's-
it's recovered correspondence by Cadet Violet Sorgel, which means that she has not graduated.
Ooh.
And Lieutenant Zayden Ryerson, which means he is not
Lieutenant. Oh, good
raised
catch.
in the ranks. So unless that's a plot hole, I'm very concerned that
maybe they're-
nobody's making it out alive.
Maybe they're just saying that because that was their ranking at the time that
Yeah,
they're
that's a
talking
good
about.
point.
You know, like their current,
That's a good point.
not current status, but their status at the time of the
Because
letters.
if Fourth Wing picked up exactly where, or
Right.
if Iron Flame picked up exactly where Fourth Wing left off, then it's likely that no time has
Yeah.
passed in the next book.
It's just, I think
Interesting to
I think
note.
somebody ain't alive anymore.
Yeah, for sure.
That's going to be.
Next
I'm
point.
upset.
Violet's. Let's breeze over that. Violet's first visit to Zayden's outpost.
Okay, this was hot.
Just fist fighting to spend time with his violence. That was really hot. Her inner dialogue was enjoyable there. She
Yeah.
was just like,
Agree.
oh, this is
Mouth open, drooling.
And then she was
Same.
like, quit toying with him. Like, I know you can do better than that. Come on.
so
And then
she
he
like
picks up.
broke through his shields and she's like, "Hey, what's up? I'm here. Can you just like get this over with?"
Hello.
And then he sure did.
he sure did.
He was like, oh, okay, let's tighten this up.
Okay,
She's here.
Got it.
Let's
Yeah.
go.
I'm on it.
So fun.
Oh, that was just really hot.
Yeah.
Just fist fighting to have a 12 hours with his lady.
Incredible. And then you note here, we're getting a kiss in chapter 12, and Zayden is too fucking honorable. That was annoying. He wanted her to say, I love you.
That was also such a recycle of Fourth Wing, of his whole like, do you feel this way, or does the dragon feel,
Yeah.
you know,
We
like,
call it
he's just not
20-year-old bullshit.
20-year-old fucking bullshit.
He's just not, it just is the same shit. We're having the same conversation.
Sure are. We're having the same convo.
Same ones.
Yeah, the quote here is, don't offer me your body unless you're offering me everything. I want those 3 little words back. It's giving purity culture. Not into it.
Gag me with a spoon.
Exactly.
Those 3 little words.
Those 3 little words.
That's so cringy to me. I just don't enjoy at all.
We can fuck
I don't enjoy.
and it not be.
It doesn't have to be.
Love.
Yeah, that's not.
Well, and the
Totally
whole thing,
agrees.
Yeah.
and it just goes again. The whole thing in the first book was Violet was saying, "Hey, like if we're gonna have sex, I just want you to know I'm gonna have feelings for you, and that's my problem, and I'm gonna take care of
I'm gonna
that."
deal with that.
Like that. Why are we just now in this book being like, no, we're not actually gonna have sex because you might have feelings?
Ghost Rider.
I
It's
thought
a Ghost
that we-
Rider.
That's
I
the
thought
whole
we did
fucking
that.
point.
Yeah.
It's
like,
a Ghost Rider who didn't read Force
She
Wing.
was like, I'm gonna be responsible for my feelings, but just so you know, like I am
They're
gonna
gonna
get them.
happen.
They're gonna
Yeah.
be mine, and it's gonna be fine.
Yeah, we're gonna work on it, but
Oh.
Well, and he says later that he's trying to like do it differently, trying to fix what was broken in this. He's trying to do it differently this time, and like he sure is.
Yeah,
So.
he has that conversation where he's like, this year, the role of Violet Sorgan will be played by Zayden Ryerson. And he's like, I'm trying to pull you into a relationship kicking and screaming. It's like, oh.
Yeah, strange. The next point: when Violet returns, she's punished by being forced to almost burn out. Varish is a sadistic fuck.
Yeah.
Truly, that was
Whew.
deeply upsetting.
That was horrible.
That was scary to hear.
What I wanted to happen there was, obviously Taryn was mad, and I appreciated Taryn's anger, but I wanted Xaden to show up
and do a little rescue
and to murder.
To do a little murder. Well, we get to that.
To do a quick little murder.
Yeah, we get to that. But next point here, Xaden finds out about Violet's research and demands to meet Jasenia for some reason.
Oh, you don't know.
I don't.
Oh, that will be a fun reveal later on.
Wait, why does he demand to?
He's an incredible judge of character, and we'll talk about that later.
He was like, no, I want to meet her.
We'll talk about that later.
We'll get there. He's an incredible judge of character.
Apparently.
Next point. Varys tries to punish Violet again, and Daddy Taryn says, "Fuck the hell off."
Oh,
yeah,
I loved.
so Varys is trying to punish Violet because Andarna is in her dreamless sleep.
Yes.
Like,
he's saying, produce the dragon, and dragons are like, fuck you, dude.
That's not how
Who are you talking
do
to?
what you tell me to
That's
do.
not how dragons work.
It's not how
so
any of
he's
this
just
works.
like trying to find a way to hurt her.
Yeah, so he basically wants to force Violet into producing Andarna by punishing her, and Violet is saying, like, hey, I'm not doing that. She's holding strong because she respects the laws of dragons, and it is dangerous to wake a dragon during the dreamless sleep, and they're very protective of their hatchlings. And she's an adolescent, so yeah, there's a lot of reasons that she should not be produced.
Yeah.
And Daddy Taryn has enough.
Yeah.
And basically grabs Solus by the throat.
Your note here is apologize on your knees. Fuck him up.
Yes.
Yeah.
He makes Varys get on his knees in front of Violet and say he is sorry.
Incredible.
Loved.
We're just
Fabulous.
straightening things out there.
Wonderful.
That's some healthy.
That's our dad.
Healthy dragon masculinity.
That's our dad.
Yep.
We love to see it. Next point: Violet and Rhiannon have a heart to heart, and Violet does some meaning making about Liam's death. We're working through some stuff.
Good.
Yeah, that was.
I
Grueling.
stay devastated about Liam's death. We didn't have
stay
to do
mad,
that.
stay sad.
We didn't have to.
It was
Anybody else?
Yeah.
Anybody else?
Literally.
well, and I can see plot wise why we did it, but
Yeah.
Take Sawyer, take Riddick. I don't care.
yeah, we don't
Leave me, Liam.
truly.
Yeah, I love their conversation because Violet basically just kind of word vomits, and she's like, you weren't there, you don't understand what it was like, and I'm trying not to.
He died.
Yeah, I'm trying not to put this all on you because I know that it's mine to deal with, but like, it was horrible, and I can't come back from it, and so I'm different now.
Yeah.
It was really a great conversation.
It was a good description of like the effects of trauma too, and like, hey, I'm really like reeling from this and trying to make sense of it all, and but then her friend's like, hey, we can still be pals though.
Yeah, we can
and you
still
don't have
be
to
friends.
suffer alone.
I can help you.
Yeah, let's work through this together.
Yeah.
I can't carry it for you, but I can carry you.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh God.
Sorry.
All right.
Sorry.
All right. All
That makes me
right.
cry every time.
Every single time I don't watch Return of the King for
I'm gonna
that
cry
reason.
right now. It's so good.
I can't watch Return of the King for that
me.
reason because it turns me into a mess.
I know.
Yeah.
Even though it
Look
is
at you.
Crying over fucking hobbits.
Return of the King is the best Lord of the Rings award-winning film.
Oh,
God, I love that movie.
Ooh.
Let's watch it immediately.
Charlie's like, I gotta get out of here.
She dipped.
Maybe less J.R.R. Tolkien. Okay.
Yeah.
Next point. We get another kiss in chapter 20. That's just for show.
Yes. So Mira has shown up for some reason to where Xaden works. I don't know why. She's there.
Inexplicably.
Inexplicably there.
Mira. I love Mira.
Yeah. And
I do
Zane's
too.
like, if you want to stay in my room tonight, you got to kiss me right now because Mira's not going to believe that we're together. So, it's just for show.
Oopsie. Just do a little kissy.
Yeah, I liked it.
Next note. Dane versus Violet on the mat.
I
Get your
hated
fucking hands off of me. Yeah.
it. Just was weird to me that he was like, yeah, we're going to fight. I'm going to force you to talk to me. He doesn't want to talk to you, Dane.
Never.
Good. Like, we're really good.
And that's his whole explanation. He was like, I didn't know we were going to die.
didn't know.
I just. Ugh.
Feigning ignorance doesn't make you blameless for the crime, friend.
Yeah,
It's
like
Draco.
either you're
Draco
being malicious or you're being dumb.
Yeah.
And either way.
But he was like
I'm
so
not-
cunning and shrewd in the
Yeah.
last book. Like, I'm not buying that he's
Right.
dumb.
Yeah.
But apparently the character is completely changed in the next.
I believe that.
He's completely changed. So.
Well.
The next point, Varys takes Violet away from Xaden for training. Yeah, the isolation, the separating the bonded pairs of them all is the mates. Not into
over
that.
and over again, actually.
Yeah, it just seems like, yeah, your sub point here is his intentions are pretty fucking clear. Wait, to whom, what was that about? Because we have 6 eyes, we have 3 eyeball emojis.
I think you are about to be blown away later on.
Okay. I finished this book, everybody. I don't know what
She
you're
was
implying.
listening. Look, she was listening really fast, and so sometimes things get lost.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
And
Yes.
so it's okay.
Things actually frequently
So
get-
you will get to see Anna's live reaction to what this is.
This is fun.
later on because I forgot that I forgot to
tell
because
her.
I didn't read that.
I forgot
Yeah.
to brief her on this part. So that's really fun. So his intentions are pretty fucking clear. Sure.
Okay. Violence. It's only the body that's fragile. You are unbreakable.
You are unbreakable.
Aw, she is unbreakable.
Yeah, and this is why we love Zayden. He's always
He empowers.
Yes, he's always reminding her that you've got this.
Yeah, he doesn't emphasize her disability. Yeah. The next point is just some casual torture training. Yeah, I didn't. And actually, it's the cowboy emoji. Yeah,
That is good.
This is how Katie Bird uses the
Yeah.
cowboy emoji, which is an excellent application, really.
Yeah. So this is the first torture training where they put the whole squad together and they all
And separate them from their. Is this where they separate them from their
they
dragons?
drink the stuff. I knew that. I knew
yeah.
immediately.
Come on.
It
She was like, this tastes weird. I'm like, you dumb bitch.
Seriously, you dumb bitch.
Come
So
on.
it happened to you the first time,
Perfect
and you're like,
cortex, not
"Oh
fully.
crap, that's why it tasted weird." The second time you smelled it, you didn't do it. The third
It
time,
smells familiar.
ooh, irritating.
It's a new serum. Please give us your reviews.
Yeah,
Yeah, the sub point here. Surprise I think it's Varish.
Varish,
Varish and fucking Dane. That's his name. And fucking Dane, the traitor Atos, have arrived to assist. Yeah, it was just frustrating.
So the Iron Squad is being tortured to get. They each have a secret that they are not supposed to share, and they basically will beat it out of you. But the Iron Squad
Sounds
does,
like our grad program.
oh god.
An awful lot like our graduate
They're like, hey,
program.
get together, and we're gonna beat
In
it
my
out of you.
experience in it anyway.
Yeah,
was
for
really
real.
fun.
But the Iron Squad is the only group to escape because of the special fucking knives that Shadow Zaddy made.
Yeah.
The unlocking
That's
rune.
right. Ah,
Thanks, Daddy.
he's always taking care of us. Jack fucking Barlow is back, but Liam is still dead. What the actual fuck?
Are
Rebecca.
we being
Come
so
on.
fucking for real right now?
on.
It's not okay.
Ma'am.
It's not okay.
Absolutely not.
Yeah, I think
Absolutely not.
that was a poor choice.
Yeah.
Rebecca Yarros. If we're gonna bring someone back from the dead, could we not
Violet's
bring
first kill, actually. The first person she killed.
Who's the older brother on Home Alone? But Jack fucking Barlow is a similar
Jack fucking
bully.
Barlow.
He's a bully.
You're just a bully.
He's a big
So like
bad-
You're just mean.
any
You're just
90s
mean.
movie with the bully is
Yeah.
he's the bully, and why
Yeah.
did we need to bring him back?
Why?
Like we're
Violet
good.
done murdered him.
We're good on like the shit happening and like things going poorly.
Like a lot. Murdered him like with her first lightning
Yeah.
channel. Like that
she
was a
murdered
big
him like
dropped
a
him out
lot.
on
like a lot.
That's a quote.
Thoroughly.
She murdered him like
I don't understand.
She murdered him hard, actually.
Pretty hard.
Pretty hard murder.
pretty thorough kind of murder.
It's like we're gonna put Violet through this. We're gonna make her kill someone. She's gonna have a crisis about it. Oh,
Yeah.
surprise, motherfucker!
Just
It
kidding.
didn't work.
Just kidding. He's
You're
back.
not actually good at killing people either. So
It's like an under the table torture. It's just torture. Let's torture her as much as possible. Next point. Shadow Zaddy gets hurt and Violet flees to his side.
Yes!
That was hot.
this is the best scene in the whole book.
That was so fun because
what did
she's like,
remind me? How'd he get hurt? What
so
happened?
he
It was just like a
he almost
message.
lost his arm in that fight.
Oh yeah.
And Taryn lost his mind because he thought Sigale was hurt, and so
Right.
like
Mm-hmm.
she flew without leave.
yeah. Yeah.
Big trouble.
that was really fun. And
So-
so she got there and he was just like
He's
fine.
fine.
And her whole inner
He's
dialogue is
sparring
like
with
this
Derek.
must be Taryn's love for Sigale that's like making me want to like absolutely lose my mind. And no, it's her love for him, but she's 20, so she doesn't get that. But the quote here is, "Who the fuck's flight jacket are you wearing?" I was a little jealous there. And then she was like, "I like ran out here without
use your brain.
leave.
It's your fucking cousin's flight jacket.
Like, leave me alone." And she said, "I'm never in control when it comes to you."
And we're still barking. My notes just say bark. Bark, 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 bark.
We know exactly what you mean. Oh, they continues.
Yeah.
I want you exactly as you are, emotions and all. I want the woman I fell for.
Just more barks. Bark, bark, bark.
Yeah. She's gone because a ghostwriter's writing her now. But okay, when I do. Sorry. Next point. When I do sleep, I dream of the sounds you make right before you come and how the blue in your eyes outshines the amber after, all sated and hazy. I wake up starving for you, only you, even when you're halfway across the kingdom. And the note is, oh! With 2 wolf emojis.
So hot. This is what we want.
This is what we're here for.
We're here for this specifically.
All 600 of these pages, and
this is what we want.
In chapter 27.
Chapter 27.
Y'all, we're getting smut in chapter 27. I know exactly how much you can take, sir. Now we're breaking the concrete.
We break the fucking concrete shower, folks.
Yes. So this is where they fuck in the
aqueducts.
That brought me joy.
Yeah.
So this is the first fucking. This was the first fucking in this book.
It was the first fucking. So Violet is like overheating basically because Taryn has like basically poured all of his emotions into her, and Zayden's like, you've got to ground right now, like you're gonna explode. And so he like turns the water on, makes it a cold shower. They get
she's gotta get really wet.
All the clothes are wet and slapping on the ground. It is hot.
It's hot.
It is so hot.
Yeah,
it's hot.
He gets that flight jacket off of her because
he doesn't want to hurt another man's flight jacket.
Yeah, so he takes care of business.
It's great, but
in
then
every sense of the word.
So they fuck in the shower, and then Zayden's like,
they do
so
fuck
here
in
are
the
our
shower.
options. We can go upstairs and do it again.
This was infuriating.
Oh, and
he
then,
gave 3 options.
Yeah.
2 of them included fucking. 1 of them included working.
And you know which one Violet fucking picked?
Come on, girl.
Bitch.
Come on, girl.
A man wrote this.
Why not both?
Infuriating.
Why not both?
Why
Go fuck again.
Yeah.
And
Let's go
then
upstairs
do your
and
work.
fuck again.
Come on.
They haven't fucked in so long.
It's been so long.
So long.
And it's just
like,
that one
okay.
time.
Yes, and then he just accepts defeat.
He's like, okay.
Okay, she's like, well, that all of those sound really nice, but let's go work.
Let's go
Do
learn.
whatever.
No, ma'am.
And then the next note, some random drama and action in the archives to get some books, ? Anyone know what's going on?
Does anyone know what the fuck's going on right now?
No, I really don't. But it was giving and Akatar the
library.
Yeah, the library with the spiraling down.
That's true. I pictured it very similar.
So
Yeah.
Ark pulls Violet through shield. Zayden gets very angry, which was hot. He was like, what the fuck are you doing?
Sure.
Pull book. Yuck on his hands. I don't know.
That.
On 3.5 speed, I couldn't tell you.
I had no idea.
And then,
Not a clue.
And then, so they steal the book, and then immediately, like, where Violet's being taken, she's basically kidnapped. And I'm just...
I was
what
cutting
is
up
happening?
bacon for like a roast chicken sausage situation last night when listening to that. And,
I don't know what's happening.
That's why I'm like, does
Butter
anybody
the
know
bacon.
what's happening? Like, I don't know how we went from, like, okay, we're going to fuck Zayden.
No.
We're going to do some research, and then now we're in a library.
we call that a cool down. We call that a turn off.
Oh, it was turned way off.
Oh, yeah.
We turned it all the way off. The next point, the torture scene lasted forever and was sickening to read. This Liam is here to provide solace. So, oh my God.
That was heartbreaking.
That was heartbreaking.
I
I'm
sure
crying.
was.
That was a very like vivid, real kind of
Horrifying.
and it.
I think that's probably really what would happen.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah, because
when you
she's so close to
dissociate that
death.
far.
But like her experience of Liam was so real, and so a part of me was like, is Liam like? Does he work in the torture chamber now? Like, and I very much envisioned the torture chamber. Like, to be clear, the Princess Bride torture chamber, where he has like the contraption.
Oh, that's not what I pictured. I just picture like a cave with a wood bed on
Exactly.
it. Yeah.
That is exactly what it is in Princess Bride.
And it's just so this is the political intrigue that I'm so here for.
Torture?
Well, no, but like something that makes me care about it.
Oh,
Like
torture.
Well, there's some stakes here, and
True.
I mean, it was hard to read. I didn't enjoy reading it, but I cared, and I was like, I was into it.
But it didn't feel political. It felt human, like character driven, like
Yes.
driven by these characters.
Yeah.
Like that. I do not care about government. I care about people.
Right.
Right.
Like I do not care about power. I care about sex. Like, I care about like human relationships.
Yeah.
And so that is more interesting to me.
Yeah.
It was devastating and visceral to read.
It really, yeah.
And like her whole inner monologue the whole time, she's like, "Well, Liam's here, so I'm either dead or my mind is gone." And like,
Just doing a little delulu.
she was right. She was correct.
She was not wrong.
Lots of self-awareness.
Yeah.
The next little quote here. The boy I used to climb trees with will be my demise. If Dane ceased living, I wouldn't even bat an eye.
Oh well, you know.
Miss me
Bye.
with the redemption arc?
Bye.
I don't care.
Don't care.
Yeah,
Don't care.
I know. Well, she just keeps being so sad that Dane used to be so good and now he's so bad, and it's giving.
I'm not confused about that.
It's
like
like it's the same people who are like, oh, it's Hamlin. I miss him. No, you miss him because you got a tattoo of him before you read the rest of the books. you miss him because you're trying to justify your own terrible decisions.
I don't
Your
miss
terrible taste.
No,
I don't
exactly.
miss Dane. I also like when they were like I didn't even like him at all in the
No,
first book when they were
true.
supposed to be friends because
Agree.
he treated her terribly.
Yeah, he was shitty to her.
Well, like objectively shitty, and that was part of the plot. I'm like, well, this is going to go south, obviously, because
Yeah.
he's terrible, but she's just young and confused and whatever. But yeah, so I it's annoying actually to have us like. I don't know, to
want us to
presume
care
that
about
the
him.
readers are going to care about an abusive ex.
Yeah.
Like that I think
Yeah.
does anger me.
Yeah, if you want us to care about him, you should have made him more likable to begin with.
Or
Because
left a little more gray space in there. Like, it was just so inarguably shitty.
from the
Everything
beginning,
that
she was like,
did.
"You don't belong here. You're not strong enough. You're terrible. You're really small. I need to protect you. Let's get you out of here." It's like, okay, so clearly we're not supposed to like this character, and so
Yeah.
I just never bought into him. So if you want us to
Yeah.
buy into a redemption arc where we do like this character, you're gonna have to give us something else to work with.
And certainly when we had the plot reveal about the touching her face, like, there was nothing to keep me interested in him.
I was like, okay, we're done.
Yeah, immediately no. You would have had to, for that to have been redeemable, would have needed a lot more, like, lead up of, like, why do I care about this person or
Like,
feel
what
invested
has
in
he
their
done?
friendship?
Tell me one thing he has done.
Yeah.
And you know what we really could just have is to just let us align with the side of the revolution. Like, we don't need to also it's like having in what's Darth Vader? What are the
Empire?
It's like trying to have us care about somebody in the Empire. We don't love
You
any-
did
or
this.
like Voldemort.
You set up
Yeah,
this
like
story
you
where
set up
like,
an
this is the
oppressive
bad guy.
regime.
Like, I'm not.
This is
set up
your
an
fault,
oppressive
actually.
regime. I don't care.
I'm not interested.
I am on the side of the revolution, and
Yeah.
I am invested in that storyline actually.
Right.
So if we could just put all the attention on those characters, I'm more interested. Like,
Yeah.
but if we're gonna like try to, I don't have space for compassion and interest for the other side.
Yeah, I think
I get it, like that they're just doing what their parents told them to do. But
right. I mean, your Draco Malfoy comparison is so accurate.
Yeah.
Because,
Yeah,
I
mean,
agree.
Draco, he's horrible the whole time. We hate him. Whatever. He sucks. And
but
then
he's a product of his.
he's a product of his parents.
Sure,
He's been
and-
raised in this. But then at the end, he gets one redemption where he is supposed to let Voldemort know whether or not Harry's alive. And it's clear that he is, but Draco does not reveal that.
Yeah.
And so, great. It's
That's
cool,
a solid redemption.
yeah, it's like, okay,
Well,
so
cool.
his character
Fine.
is
Thank you.
changing.
Sure.
His future is going to be different, but we didn't have to sit and deal with him the whole time. Like, we hated him, and then we're like, okay, so he gets a hopeful future. We don't have to learn about it anymore.
it's like a great little like happy ending of sorts. It works.
yeah.
Yeah. Leaving
that-
the door open there.
This
Exactly.
is this is not that.
Uh-uh.
The next point here, Zaddy is here. All
Zaddy's
caps.
here.
There is nowhere in existence you could go where I wouldn't find you.
Exactly.
He loves her.
He left just dead bodies in his wake.
Yeah, and then I promise you die in this room.
That's what Violet had said to Varish.
4 angel emojis, and Shadow Zaddy lets Violet do the honors. That was thoughtful.
That was thoughtful
That
of
was
him.
ladies first. Like,
Well, Dane
you
tries-
said that you would
yeah.
like to murder him, and so I will allow.
I will allow you to do that.
Respect.
I will permit
I respect.
you.
Dane tries to,
A
and
gentleman.
Zayden's like, Violet,
Nope.
Violet has
Nope.
first dibs here, friend. You
Yeah.
back off.
Yeah.
And then he just like holds her, which it's not very romantic, but it's like,
That's
hey,
what you would
yeah,
do. I
you gotta-
think.
you-
Like,
Murder someone.
you gotta hold your girl up. She's broken.
Yeah, she hurt.
Yeah.
got hurt.
She been through a
She got
lot.
big hurt.
She got big hurt. Yeah,
Nolan
psychologically.
can suck a big fucking dick.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Katie Bird, would you like to read this next long quote?
Yes, I
Because
would.
it's lovely and meaningful.
So Violet basically, she's all broken and horrible and been tortured, and she's like, I didn't break, by the way. I didn't say anything. And he's like, I don't fucking care.
What the fuck are you talking about?
You were tortured.
In his nice little speech at the end of part 1, I will happily watch Erasha burn to the fucking ground again if it means you live. I'm sorry if you expect me to do the noble thing. I warned you, I'm not sweet or soft or kind, and you fell anyway. This is what you get, Violet. Me. The good, the bad, the unforgivable, all of it. I am yours. You want to know something true, something real? I love you. I'm in love with you. I have been since the first night the snow fell in your hair and you kissed me for the first time. I'm grateful that my life is tied to yours because that means I won't have to face a day without you in it. My heart only beats as long as yours does, and when you die, I'll meet Malik at your side.
Oh,
Yes.
the pledge of undying love.
Yes.
That is why we're here.
Yes.
6 kneeling emojis.
Yes, Daddy. Like,
Yes.
I'll do anything for you.
And it only gets better. His character only gets better because then we see like him leading this. It's just yes.
So yeah, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Violet is just a little 20-year-old.
She takes a while to get there.
She the grown women are like, that is the energy we like. But
He has said all the words. He has said all of his words.
Yeah.
Those were his words.
Those are the words.
And you're still upset. I'm bitter about that.
Girl.
He said all of his words.
burden of responsibility. Well, and yeah, he was like, I'm complex. I'm going to make mistakes. Like, I'm sorry, I made mistakes, and I'm doing my best to. And he didn't. I don't know that he's saying he's made mistakes with this keeping up. He's saying that they weren't secrets. He's saying that they were selective truths, and because he's leading a revolution. Sorry about it.
What are you gonna do?
But she's
gonna
working
do?
through it. Your note here is, well, Mommy made a deal with the shadow devil.
More political intrigue. But we learn at the very end of part 1 that Xaden has an additional scar, not on his back, but over his heart.
Yeah.
Interesting placement. For Violet, because he promised Mommy that he would not let her die in the writer's quadrant. I'm not mad about it. Violet was mad. I'm not fucking mad.
Shut the fuck up, Violet. Oh my god. And I love it.
I love her chutzpah. I love her chutzpah.
Sure.
This was me. This is my energy that I bring into a relationship. I make it hard to love me, honestly. But this was stupid after a point.
I loved her so much in Fourth Wing. I thought she was a great character.
Me too.
She is angry and she does something with that anger. But I feel like her anger in this book is just like, I'm mad at my boyfriend.
Because he is honorable.
Because he's the leader of a very delicate revolution, and I can't know all the
I've been
information.
besties with Dane, who touches my face.
Me knowing information is actually detrimental to the entire operation. So
Come on, girl.
Protecting everyone by not telling you. But okay, cool.
Anyway,
cool. The next note here
More
is
important.
2 red alert emojis and then thrice all caps smut in chapter 37. Quote, you have to stop or I'm going to lose it on you, and I'm not sure I can be gentle. Don't threaten me with a good time.
Hello.
hey,
Nobody asked for gentle.
I
You
never once have.
Actually, but prefer it to not.
Never once have asked.
You misunderstand. Okay.
You misunderstand.
The next quote is, I want you feral. Okay, Violet.
Me and Violet are the same.
She's clear. She's a woman stating what she wants.
Yeah. She's
We
using
love
her
to
words
see it.
in this
For
way, and
once.
that's fine.
The next note is, gripping my hips, he flips me around, lifting my ass into the air, setting me on my knees. Just flip me around.
Yes.
Like a
face
little-
down, ass up.
Face down, ass up.
We love that on this podcast.
We endorse that. In fact, Katie Bird, I like leaving these long smut blurbs
Right,
just for you.
Copy and paste them into here.
It's ideal.
I I moan at the stretch, the fit, the utter perfection of him, muffling the sound in my pillow. He grabs the pillow and throws it to the floor. I want them to hear, he says,
Oh my God.
withdrawing slowly,
Oh my
stroking
God.
every
Sir.
inch of me, then slamming home again. Gods, you're fucking perfect.
Gods.
Yeah, it's every time. So funny.
It cracks me up.
Fucking perfect.
I cry out, he feels so damn good. There are hundreds of people in this palace of a house. How I can string together more than 2 words is beyond me. Me too, girl. I
Wouldn't
Why?
be talking.
Shut up. Girl.
Indiscernible words are the only words that can
Yes.
be used right now.
He leans over my back, then drags his teeth across the shell of my ear, and I want them all to know you're mine.
Sir!
Sir! Shadow. Daddy Shadows!
Okay. Isn't it later in the book where they're all like at the door? Like they open the door and like people are just like,
Yeah.
I mean, these
Yeah.
this is a couple who have lightning strike outside.
Yeah,
when-
They have
when
lightning
they-
sex.
Yeah, they have lightning sex.
But we learn like a minute later that the room is warded for sound, and so
Yeah.
nobody can actually hear.
Sure.
But in the moment when she thought people were hearing, that was hot.
That was hot.
It was really fucking hot.
Yeah. Next note, as I chew my eyes to your fucking listeners. Our Shadow Zaddy is royalty, baby!
Oh my god!
I was telling Katie Bird in the car, I was like, so I really liked the casual, like, so you're kind of like the king of Gondor?
the king of Gondor,
The king?
Aragorn in our midst.
I'm sorry.
Aragorn was the original Shadow Zaddy.
I buy that.
Truly, God,
That feels right.
Viggo Mortensen, ideal. I love a Lego man.
That's a Lego man right there.
Pushing those doors open.
I know. Hot. Okay,
Sexual
so
awakening.
but the best part is when Zayden's like, I mean, like, no, yes, but
She's like,
king.
so are you the king of Tirandor? And he's like, fuck no. Well, yeah, but anyway,
well,
Maybe technically.
I mean,
I'm
I'm the
more
heir
valuable
apparent.
on the front lines.
He's like, I like to be in war.
yeah, I'd rather be working.
I'm like,
Hot.
so more burden of responsibility. The
Yep.
more burden of responsibility he has, the hotter he gets.
yeah, agreed.
Truly,
Love.
every time. This
He
next,
commands all this power and attention.
he does. He commands the shadows, in fact,
Oh my god.
and Our Lady Bits.
And her lady bits.
This next point introduces Catriona, Zayden's big bad bitter ex.
Oh, big and bitter. She
Cat.
real bitter.
That was tough at
Cat.
times. There were moments when I was like, oh.
It is, you know,
It sucks.
as a girl's
That
girl,
feeling.
it was hard for me to be like, that fucking bitch.
I know.
Yeah.
It was tough,
I know.
and I know that we were supposed to feel complex things. Like she was acting in a terrible way. She was being
She was,
shady.
yeah, she was not being a girl's girl.
No, she was
Yeah.
not. No, indeed.
Yeah,
And I love Violet. She has this like, I don't know if it's in her monologue or she's talking to somebody. She's like, I can't believe that I'm being reduced to arguing over a boy.
Yes.
Like, this is ridiculous. This is not what I want to argue about.
and I mean, Zayden has made it quite clear who he wants to be with.
Yeah.
but Catriona was intense.
I have a quote from
Oh, yes, please.
Please.
Taryn actually about this.
Dragon quotes only from Hope.
That's all.
Dragon-
That's all I have.
Dragon quotes only.
That makes me happy.
Violet is inner monologuing about Catriona. Shit, what is this? Jealousy, anxiety, insecurity? All three, Taryn responds in utter annoyance. To which I will remind you that not a single dragon chose her. You were selected by 2. Pull yourself together.
Oh, that's a
Yes.
great point.
Taryn always comes in. He's like, bitch.
Shut the fuck
Not
up.
a single dragon.
Shut up.
He can't
What's
say
that?
it to
Like,
a
all
Darna
three.
because she's asleep. He's saying
All three.
All three.
It's all of it. You're insecure. You're,
You're jealous.
jealous. You're anxious.
All of it.
2 dragons chose you.
He,
2 of us.
He
Sit
is
down.
like
And Zayden.
Sit down.
Mufasa in The Lion King is like, remember who you are.
Yes.
Yeah, it's like,
Mufasa moment.
yeah.
He's
like,
But with more
Girl,
sarcasm.
What are you even talking
He was like, stop the 20-year-old
about?
bullshit. Remember that me, big, scary dragon man, most powerful dragon in the world, chose you, scrawny little girl.
But we find out more about her signet that she amplifies amplifies the feeling that you're already experiencing.
Yeah, I thought
And
that was so interesting.
Such a cool
That was
power.
why
What a cool
she
power.
was like so overwhelmed with
Right.
why Violet was like, what is this? And
Yeah.
because Katrina was
Yeah,
picking her
so
up.
yeah, Kat has her power is so cool.
So cool.
Yeah.
But she can't plant emotions. She can only amplify what you're already
Right.
feeling, which is a horrible thing to look in the face. It's like,
That's confrontational.
this is a little bit later on, but they have
Amplify your own
like
bullshit.
Zayden was like, I'm about to hit you with some hard truths. Like the only reason you felt that way is because you were already feeling
you
that
already
way
were
to
feeling
begin
that
with.
way, babe.
You were feeling
that
inferior.
actually
ouch,
did
ouch.
belong to you.
Yeah, you were
Yeah.
feeling inferior. That's yours, friend.
Yes, and how does he discuss this with Violet?
Oh,
I think naked on a throne.
Yeah.
There are 6, 7 alert emojis. It's time. All caps.
It's time, folks. It's time.
The sub point. Zaddy carries his violence fireman style.
Absolutely.
He
Throw me
has-
around.
I know.
Absolutely.
You know, he just throws her over his shoulder like cotton on his shoulder, and then dear ears hang low. Did y'all get the dear ears hang low reference?
What? No.
Never mind. Listeners will. And you throw him over your shoulder like a cotton on soldier to your ears. You can edit that.
Yeah, gotcha.
Next point. You want this, Katie Bird?
Yeah. So
My house, remember?
Violet's like, we can't do it in here, bitch. Shut up. Every time.
Say less every time.
Every time.
We can do it in
Every
here,
time.
and we will be.
Yeah, my house. Remember, they're all my rooms.
They're all my rooms. I like that.
I'm the fucking king. Okay.
My
Excuse
God.
me.
His eyes lock with mine, holding me a willing captive as his hands slide up the length of my legs, caressing my inner thighs, waking every nerve ending along their path before he reaches the buttons of my sparring pants. My house, my chair, my woman.
Hot.
Let's call it a chair. Also, let's call it a chair.
My house, my throne.
Please.
He knew exactly what he was doing. He
He
knew
sure
exactly
did.
where he was putting her.
Oh, he wanted to fuck her on that throne.
Yes, he
Yes,
sure did.
he was like, this would
And
be hot.
Indeed, he did.
Because when I have to be in here for meetings and shit, I want to think about this.
Yep.
My house, my chair, my woman.
That was so fun.
I am a feminist as the day is long. However,
Until it comes to being thrown around.
Yeah, but I mean, I am your woman. I don't know.
Yeah.
Whatever you want to call me, I don't care.
As the feminism evaporates.
It evaporated.
Yes.
This is what I fantasize when I'm away from you. He says against my heated skin, your taste, your scent, the gasps you make right before you come. He settles in, his hands playing wide on my inner thighs, pinning me in place as he uses his tongue to rob me of every thought. He swirls around that sensitive bud over and over, teasing, arousing, driving me higher and higher, but denies me the very touch I need. Is this what you think about? My mouth between your soft thighs? It is now! Bro. This is the melting emoji. Fully melting into the couch.
This would be the
This is
appropriate
it.
use
This
of
is it. This is
the appropriate.
This is a
face-melting
spicy
emoji.
face melting emoji.
Bro,
moment.
yes,
Absolutely. Bro.
dead. Yeah, and she agrees. I can't take it. I mean, it's just say as the waves come and come with no end in sight.
Yes, you can. Look at where you are. He grasps my hip and surges upward, propelling me deeper into the chair until my back hits the blackened wood. And still, he keeps stroking, holding me prisoner with my own pleasure. Brushing his lips over mine, he smiles. Look at how beautiful you are, Violet. Coming for me on Tyrandor's throne.
Absolutely. Anyway.
Bye.
Running and jumping off a mountain.
That was hot. That was quite hot.
I will say, fighting through this plot was worth it for this scene alone.
It was an excellent.
It was a good scene.
This is why
It was a good ass scene.
we're here for Fourth Wing, for Iron Flame.
And you know, maybe some folks who are listening, they can just, I don't know. I wish we could just do everybody a favor and say these are the chapters to read.
Just read the chapters with the smut.
yeah.
Read the Wikipedia. For the
Yeah,
plot.
read the chapters
Truly.
with the smut and the declarations of love. Like,
Yeah.
that's why we're here.
Yeah. Oh my God. Beautiful. Next point. So Solace.
Solace, I don't know,
is
some
back
fucking
for
dragon.
revenge in the cave.
Okay, so somehow
That was scary. That was stressful.
That was
I was
stressful.
stressy.
Yeah.
So the Griffins are here too.
Oh yeah.
We're all here together.
Yeah.
The Flyers
And
and
the
the,
Varmints.
Riders, and everybody's here together. We're all not friends, but we're trying to be friends.
We're working on it.
They're going on a hike of death where that one girl dies and Kat
sure.
gets really mad.
I was so tired of the climbing up the mountain.
That mountain. Why was
we
it
climb
a
up
4-hour
fewer
section of the audiobook?
So-
Can we? Can
Are
we
you
fall
for
off?
It's not
real?
exactly
fewer
4 hours.
things?
But
Ew.
No, it was at least.
It was
like
over an hour.
Yeah.
oh my god.
No. No.
So we're hiking. We go in the cave, and Solus is here, and he's angry. I guess.
pissed.
Angry dragon.
Yeah.
Sure.
He's big man.
And then Sloane's signet manifests in the cave where she's a
Yes.
siphon, which is cute. Great.
Explain for the listeners what a siphon
Yeah, what does that mean?
Oh, Noala was also a siphon. I don't know who she is, but she was there apparently.
Oh yeah.
So basically, she can direct. She doesn't
the
drain.
light?
What?
The light thing.
The light thing.
You explain.
So a siphon can basically take power from someone's signet and direct it. Like, so she can basically
Siphon
borrow
it.
signets from people and like,
I see.
yeah,
Okay.
spread
And
them.
direct them.
Yeah,
Okay. That's
is
pretty cool.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
pretty cool power. Very
cool
powerful.
power.
Yeah.
So that was plot that did not ever.
didn't ask
Why
for.
did we hike up the mountain? Why are we hiking? What
Who
was
cares?
the point?
Yeah.
I imagine it will all become clear at some point, but
Nah.
for what?
This is giving, like, you know, in the Harry Potters where, like, for the first 2 books, it's like, we're not talking about this actual story at all.
Yes.
Like, we're not talking about we're not talking about the war. We're not talking about any of this, like, big picture
Just
stuff.
some weird stuff happens at school.
Yeah, and it's just some weird stuff. That's what this whole book feels like to
Yeah,
me.
just
Of,
some
like,
weird stuff is
We're not really
happening.
talking about the actual
actual-
things we're
the
talking
overarching
about.
plot.
These are just, like, weird little stories
Which
that
is
are never going
hard
to come up again.
To follow.
Yeah.
That is why this is hard to follow.
It's like the Chamber of Secrets.
Yeah,
Yes,
It's like
it's a whole
this
bunch of
thing's
little-
It's a
happening.
plot device that's here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I
it's-
just don't.
It's moving the story forward in the big picture, sure, but we don't yet know the
Right.
big picture. It's like when you go back and reread or rewatch Harry
Right.
Potter, you're like, oh yeah, this is interesting
Of
because we
course.
know what actually happens.
Right.
And so this is cool that this fits in. This is not cool.
Mm-hmm.
This is, we don't care.
And I think even with the Harry Potters, there's something about, like, the process of writing a series that is like J.K.
Yes.
Rowling had much more clarity in the 3rd book
About where.
about the big story.
Yeah.
And this also to me feels like someone that's still feeling out, like,
Yeah.
what the big plot is. It's like,
Which-
no, this isn't, like, the Chamber of
Depending on how many
Secrets tied
words.
back in, but it
Yeah.
was like, well,
Yeah,
it's
but
a lot of backstory. It's a lot of, like,
Yeah, that's
I don't
true.
know.
That
It
just
just
seemed
wasn't-
like
The Chamber of Secrets only tied back in because she knew, she's like, crap, I gotta make this work somehow.
I've got to
gotta-
make this feel
yeah.
Yes, the
intentional.
diary was a Horcrux.
Horcrux.
Yeah,
Done.
Literally.
And then that's it.
That's it. Yeah.
That's what this book feels like to me.
I've not written a work of fantasy besides Pamela
Sure.
the Camelot, but a work of children's literature. But I can imagine that would be a great way to do it, is just to write a lot of little things like this and then make it make sense later.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where's it going to lead? We don't know. I don't know.
She doesn't know.
She don't know.
She's making it
Nobody
up as she
knows.
goes.
Yeah.
I would never do something like that.
Yeah.
Okay,
make a
I'm
whole
going
lot
to take
of
over
us
on
like
this
it.
point
Please do, actually.
because I have failed you here.
I don't think I understand.
So, dragons who bond writers in the same bloodline as their previous writer, they don't do that because it will, one, make the writer go crazy, go mad, or it will make them produce a second signet, which will also make them go mad. So it doesn't ever happen. Xaden is bonded to his grandfather's dragon in his direct bloodline. Violet learns this. She knew that he was bonded to his grandfather's dragon. However, she learns from someone. I don't know
From
who.
the scrolls. That's why we're in the library.
That's right, from the scrolls.
Is that real? I don't know. I made that up.
Sure. So she learns.
Grab that dangling plot point and just
Throw
we
it in
just-
there.
We just
plug
did it right
back
there,
in
actually.
Yep.
Tied up those loose
So
ends.
she learns, people who are bonded in the same bloodline have a second signet? That's weird. Xaden's bonded in the same bloodline. I wonder if he has a second signet. So she asks him, what's your fucking second signet? What is it? And so he takes her far away, fly away, because his second signet,
Fly far, far.
his second signet is illegal. Do you know why it's illegal?
Why is
He's an intrinsic.
So is that the mind reader?
But that other.
So Dane is a
he can read memories with touch.
he can read memories
Memories.
with touch, but so he's an excellent judge of character because he's actually
For some reason, he has to
Reading their
question
minds.
every single person about their intentions before he meets them, before he lets them in. The reason he let Dane join the revolution. So, Shadow Zaddy. Now he can't read thoughts. He can read intentions,
yes
motivations.
Vibes.
Interesting.
He
Yeah,
he always said he was a great judge of character.
he really is. Wow. Well, and then he could read Violet too, and so this would be super advantageous as a in many areas of life, but
lots of-
especially in
yeah.
his role, this is quite
Yeah.
the advantageous.
Yes.
second signet.
Of course, Violet gets very angry about this.
It's giving High Lord, strongest High Lord of all time.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
But she's angry about that because he kept that secret.
This
He
scene
kept it.
specifically was giving Feyre finding out she was mated to the High Lord.
Yeah.
She's like, I'm
I
gonna be mad
agree.
about it. Actually, I'm really angry.
You know,
Girl.
being mad for a minute, I get that.
Fine.
I get
Have a
that.
little
Let's
moment.
fight about it. Okay.
Have a little
Okay.
moment. That's okay.
Sure. And
It's really devastating to read because Zayden's like, I'm just wondering how long it takes to fall out of love with someone. Because like you're not gonna love me anymore after this, but I'm still gonna be in love with you, and so this is gonna be miserable for me. So I'm just wanting to know, how long do you think it's gonna take for me to not love you anymore?
devastating.
So he knew. Yeah. So the reread is very interesting because there are so many times when he's like, his intentions are very clear to me. I'm like,
He says intentions all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, he does.
yeah, he does.
So
And
now
he
it feels-
says his intentions are clear. I need to question them about their intentions. I need to meet this person.
That's true. He does do that. Yeah. Oh, interesting. And now it all makes sense.
Yeah. And there are a few times in the first book where after I had read Iron Flame and went back to read Fourth Wing, I was like, oh, he done knew.
He knew.
Yeah.
I'm glad that is consistent
Yeah.
Yes.
throughout, because the whole second signet thing also feels like a random we just introduced a whole new thing here,
But it actually
checks
maybe
out,
we could have caught it if we were more
Yeah.
well versed in the fantasy
I
land.
felt it in my bones that Xaden was going to be some kind of mind reader.
Like extra. Okay.
Just because they made such a big deal out of it. They murdered that kid who could read minds.
they murdered. Yeah, that
I'm
was
like,
a big.
this is going to come
Somebody's
back.
gonna be a mind reader.
Yeah.
That
sure
feels
did.
It's our
right.
daddy.
It's daddy.
And look, I'm not mad.
I love it.
not mad.
Okay.
not
Well,
mad.
but you know who
I
is
like it.
mad? Feyre.
Yes. Feyre. Yeah.
Hermione.
It was so then they go and meet General Sorngale and the Major and all these fucking people, and Violet knows at this point that he can read intentions, and Violet's like, can you tell me what they're thinking? And he's like, everyone is shielded except for this other person, and she really is mad at your mom. Now put your shields up and stop talking to me.
Put your shields up, damn it. God.
Damn it, woman.
But that would be fun to, I mean, you could just ask him, what are all their intentions?
Yeah.
You can use that signet because you can
yeah.
access
Well,
him through the bonds.
I know.
Like, this is
is
to everyone's
power.
advantage. His power is your power. You share a bank account, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Like,
And it is really cool the way Violet finds out about the signet because she just figures it out on her own.
Yeah.
And
Clever
Taryn
girl.
tells her, like, hey, I picked you for your knowledge. Like, figure it out. And she's like, okay, so what do you need? Your signet comes to you for what do you need? What do you need? You need information. You need to be the smartest person in the room. What do you need? And she just solves it on her own because she's a smart girl.
we love to see it.
And they worked that out right on the sparring mat, which was hot.
Yeah. We
He-
don't fight in our bedroom.
Yeah. He was like, we're going to talk about it here. And he says,
And then we're going to go fuck up there.
yeah, he's like, in our bedroom,
Beautiful.
we're not going to argue. We don't argue in there. And
Those are good boundaries, I think.
Yeah, I
think
agree.
that makes a
Yeah,
lot
this
of
is
sense.
a peaceful place.
Yeah.
Yes.
A sexy place and a peaceful place.
This is not what the space is for.
I'm not
Yeah.
going to fight in here. Oh, we have that policy. Pretty much. Unintentionally.
yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. We fight other places. we heatedly discuss things in other rooms of the house.
Yeah. And he's like, I'm making that rule right now. And he says, we make the rules. This is our place.
We make the rules. Take a shot.
So Sweet.
Love it.
Then Jack fucking Barlow is like the cockroach that won't die. He just keeps showing up.
The cockroach we didn't ask for.
I didn't ask for this fucking cockroach. He kills his own dragon, which was horrible. I hated reading that. And turns into a venom.
Devastating.
Great.
Bummer. Big
Great.
bummer.
Big
fucking bummer.
bummer.
His intentions were not great.
Not great.
Not great. And Darna. So the whole time through the book, Violet's making these comments like, and Darna's black, but also not really. Something's
And
weird.
Darna sure is sleeping for an extra long time.
Yeah, it's like her scales are kind of shiny, and she kind of looks red, and she also looks blue. Bitch, she's iridescent.
Girl.
I knew this.
She's a special dragon.
Yeah, she's special.
There,
Baby.
Darna.
She's the only one. She's like a camouflagey dragon, so she kind of blends in with her surroundings because she's got iridescent fancy scales.
She's
Very
fancy,
cool.
and she picked Violet because they're a team.
Yep.
Adorable.
Special baby.
Oh
and
my
I
God.
sometimes wonder, like, Violet's going to get a second signet, right? Because she got 2 dragons. 2.
Oh yeah, we just don't know.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. This is gonna get interesting. So there is something worth
There's something worth going.
worth reading in the
It
next
was
book.
funny to, I feel like we've talked about that some throughout this book, her like second signet that's going to come with the second dragon. And it was a little bit of a weird bait and switch that Xaden ended up being the one with the second.
Yeah.
Like we did a lot of second signet talk
Yeah.
for then
'cause of
him
the 2
to have been
dragons.
the one with the 2 of them. So I thought that was kind of interesting
Yeah, that's true.
that they both, like, that's a part of their pairing as well, that eventually they'll both have 2.
They'll both be really fucking
Well, they're
powerful.
both going to be really powerful because they're both going to lead a revolution
That's
that
part of
we
why
thought
they're-
actually that we would get to enjoy in this book.
No.
Well, I'm very afraid now. Again, I just saw that one TikTok about lovers to enemies.
No.
And now I'm like, they got the 2 signets. They can't,
They're not gonna be lovers
they're
to
gonna
enemies.
die together. Like, I see it. I'm very afraid.
Like
I don't
a
trust
third book
Rebecca
breakup?
right now. No, I don't know.
Okay,
I don't know.
There's
but
been a rupture
we
in
don't
your
trust.
I'm just
relationship with
afraid.
Rebecca Yarros.
Yeah, I'm afraid that's gonna be.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be so butthurt if
Yeah.
it's lovers to enemies. But
Me too.
they've just been fighting the whole time, and I'm afraid that it's walking us up to not end game, and
needs
that's
to
gonna
stop.
be brutal. That's gonna really piss me off. I'm gonna be really
Because there's
unhappy
not
about it.
even like another couple that we love.
No,
I'm not
there's
interested in-
nobody else.
There's nobody but Xaden for me. Like, I'm sorry. Like, that, I'm
else?
sold.
Yeah.
Okay, well.
Okay, so then we start.
In the last 10 pages of the book.
Yeah, everything sort of falls apart all at the same time at the end of the
Sure
book.
does.
So, Mommy Sorengale meets a devastating but very honorable end for her. We were kind of equating this to Feyre's dad dying in Guitar. It's like,
you've
okay,
redeemed yourself.
Right,
you
I
served your
guess.
purpose.
You
and,
did
like,
something worthwhile.
Yeah, you died in an honorable fashion for a better cause.
And this was with getting this whole time we haven't talked about the plot of like we're trying to get the shields back up.
Yeah, so
or
that's
whatever.
what Violet and Dane are translating in the library is how to
right.
get the wards up and the breathing of the dragons.
wards, yeah.
And
Mama Sorengale stepped in,
to help power
Right.
the wards.
and that was how she died.
Yeah, so she basically drained her power and died.
Good for her.
Bye, Mom.
She did some deeply problematic.
I mean, Mommy issues for
Super deeply
days.
problematic
Like, she's not a
things.
great person, but then
No,
Violet's
really
still
not.
devastated that her mom is dead. I mean, it's all
Fair enough.
just a mess.
Yeah.
And then nothing else happens and everything's great at the end. That's
Nothing
all.
else happens,
Nothing-
actually.
Nothing else happened at the end of the book. I don't know.
Yep. Everything's fine.
I mean, just kidding. Everything is actually terrible and I hate it.
Yeah.
Isn't this one? Don't we get like a perspective switch at the end that is like no?
Yes. So,
No,
y'all,
no.
we know this to be true
when there's
when
a perspective switch.
an
damn
unprecedented
it.
perspective switch
Motherfucker.
at the end of the book, something horrible is fucking happening.
Something really
that means we
bad.
lost someone.
Yeah, someone is devastated.
So, from Xaden's perspective,
it's only a couple of pages too, isn't it?
Yep, it's 4 pages.
Jesus fucking Christ.
So earlier in the book, we get some foreplay shadowing, and by foreplay shadowing, I just mean foreshadowing because there's no fucking foreplay in this book.
We wouldn't want that.
Avenin, basically in Violet's dream, tells her that she will turn not for power but for love. So we get some foreshadowing there. And at the end of the book, Xaden is fighting Avenin and he is losing. It is horrible. This is from Xaden's perspective. He is too strong, and I have nothing left, but I'll be damned if Violet suffers the consequences. He won't get his hands on her, not today, not ever. The slush beneath my palms melts, and I feel there's something beneath me, a steady flow of unmistakable power. You cannot, Sigale shrieks. I chose you. But Violet chose me too. I reach. My heart stammers and I gasp for air, jolting upright in bed. I check the back of my neck, but it's dry. No dripping sweat, no aching muscles, no exhaustion. Just Violet sitting beside me, her cheek resting on the pillow, her breath steep and even thanks to the exhaustion that's left bruises under her eyes, her arms bent as though reaching out for me in her dreams. I watch her long enough to calm my racing heart, my gaze skimming over every part of her. I can see from the silvery lines of her hard-won scars to the silvery half of her hair on the pillow. She's so fucking beautiful, I can barely breathe, and I almost lost her. My fingertips trail over the smooth, soft skin of her cheek, spotting the tracks her tears left. She lost her mother today, and while I won't mourn the loss of Lilith Sorengale, I can't stand the pain Violet's suffering. And yet I'm about to be the biggest cause of it. I love you, I whisper, and just because I can, I climb up from the bed as quietly as possible and dress quickly in the moonlight. Silently, I leave the room, then make my way down the hall into the staircase, surrounding myself in the warmth of my shadows as I descend the floor to the tunnels of Basgiath. I don't bother reaching for Sigale. She's been eerily silent since the battle ended. The doors to the bridge open at my command, as do the ones on the far side when I reach them, keeping myself wrapped in darkness as I pass over the overflowing clinic where we spent hours waiting for Sawyer to come out of surgery earlier. Sawyer's still alive, don't worry.
Thank God.
I sidestep the two drunken infantry cadets and keep walking down the tunnel, only turning when I reach the guarded staircase that leads to my target. The guard cracks a yawn and I slip by unnoticed thanks to the increase in my signet, or whatever this is. The last time I walked these stairs, I had just murdered everyone who stood between me and Violet. It's ironic that the cell I ended up standing in front of, now peering through the barred window at Jack fucking Barlow. You look good, the second year says, sitting up on the reconstructed bunk and smiling. You here to dose me? Pretty sure I'm not due till tomorrow morning. What's the cure? I fold my arms across my chest. For the serum? The antidote. You know what I fucking mean. Shadows scurry from the edges and the walls from the walls in his cell. Tell me what the cure is, and I won't send for the ribostanchus. I don't know what that is.
Sure.
He stands slowly, cracking his neck before he moves to the center of the room where the chair they tortured Violet had been bolted. Cures are for diseases. What we have is power.
No.
And that, dear Ryerson, isn't curable. It's enviable. Bullshit.
Fuck you.
There's a way to get rid of this, I seethe. His smile grows even wider. Oh no, there's no cure. You can never give back what's taken. You'll only hunger for more. I'd rather die than become one of you. Fear flavors the words because I feel it. The power beneath the college craving to sate the need for it.
One ring to rule them all.
And yet, you just did. Jack laughs and the sound curdles my blood. All this time, you've been convincing everyone you're the hero, and now you'll be the villain, especially in her story. Welcome to our fucked up family. Guess we're brothers now.
Ew! The end.
That's the last page of the book.
Oh my God.
She hates us.
So...
Shoot, what did we do to deserve this?
Yeah.
I don't know
We didn't ask for this.
what wrong we did in this life
Yeah.
to get to earn our Shadow Zaddy turning into a fucking villain.
Come on.
Are we serious?
Come on.
We could have closed this book with so many different directions. We could have gone in so many different interesting, where I would have been like, yeah, I'm excited, I'm interested, I'm invested, I'm curious what's
Absolutely.
going to happen in the next book.
Nope.
Did you need to make us really angry?
Nope, I'm only
Rebecca
mad.
Yarros. Only mad.
Only mad.
I'm
only mad.
only pissed.
Only big
Yep.
mad, actually.
I'm
Yep.
so fucking mad,
so
actually.
mad. I'm so mad.
Yeah, it was really unnecessary, I think. Yes. And luckily, I have a Char Binks here to comfort me. That Jack fucking Barlow can go to hell.
I hate that he's still a character.
I hate that he's still around.
Why is he still here?
I don't have any predictions for what the third book could be, other than the only thing that I want is that Violet and Xaden are fine.
I bet Violet's second signet
Is the cure, because
is
that's
the
what she
cure.
needs.
Yeah.
That's what she needs.
Yeah. That's just a hot take.
I like that.
Feels
Maybe she
right.
can like suck power away, like take some power away.
But like the burden of responsibility at some point is like, okay, we got it. Like you, come on, quit. He just keeps on taking on more and more responsibility.
Yeah. I saw something about, because of the little blurbs at the beginning of the chapters. Did you see about this one? Because of the blurbs at the beginning of the chapters, there's a fan theory that her dad was also turned into a venom.
I have seen
And
this.
that's why General Mom has been like looking for a cure or something.
I have been suspicious the whole time.
Dad's gonna
that
make her-
Dad, I think, is alive.
Yeah.
Or Dad is, there's something significant with Dad.
Yeah, there's something that we don't
And
know.
his whole revolution, like teaching her about the scrolls and how to, she talks about that
and like Dad
a
is
couple of times.
consistently kept alive through the book, like in
Yeah.
his memory.
Yes.
And so
Right.
it's like we wouldn't be emphasizing a character who has died if he wasn't like to
Right.
this extent. Like there's something important here.
Or like, does Brennan know about Dad still?
And I
or
love the Brennan Mira. I love having the three siblings together.
Great.
Who
That's great.
Are
I love that.
all orphaned
I love
theoretically.
Mira just punched Brennan right in the face.
Punched him
when-
right in the
yeah,
face.
Yeah, same.
You piece of
that
absolute
actually
shit.
was
Yeah.
the correct response.
That was the
reasonable.
accurate response.
You've been
cannot
dead
believe-
for 6 years. And
How dare you?
How dare? Yeah, absolutely.
That's really
I'm so glad
satisfying.
to see you. I missed you. I love you. You piece of shit.
I
You piece
have
of
2 brothers, and that's the
absolute
appropriate
trash.
response. Like,
Yeah.
fuck you.
Fuck you, first of all.
How
I'm glad
did
you're
you-
alive, but absolutely fuck you.
Fuck you.
That was
Oh my God.
uncalled for.
Yeah.
I'm gonna stay mad about. I'm gonna
Yeah.
continue to be mad about
Yes.
this for a while.
Exactly. Wow.
So
I am deeply upset.
I kind of see now why she ended it this way. It doesn't not make sense from a marketing publishing standpoint.
Sure.
Like, we're definitely all talking about it.
yeah,
The buzz is there. It's compelling. We're not sure how it's going to go. It elicits an emotional response, and art is supposed to elicit an emotional response, and that it has. It's not a fun response. I'm not having
That's
a good
true.
time with it, but you know, we're gonna buy the next book
yeah.
because we have to know
Yeah.
what goes down must come up.
Sure.
Maybe she's setting the next book up to be. Maybe I'm just being positive, but maybe she's
You're
setting the
feeling
next.
optimistic about it.
Exactly. She's just setting the next book up to be really, really excellent. I don't know.
So I'm a little unclear. Does Violet know?
What?
Know that he's a Venom?
No. The next book will open with her finding
That's
out.
how they're gonna be mad at each other the whole next book.
Because he kissed
Like,
her. He
that's
kissed
gonna
her
be-
goodbye. She's the most beautiful thing. She's still asleep. That's the point. Is
So
she's gonna
he
wake
must have
up.
come in after she was already asleep.
Yeah,
I'm just
the
trying
whole-
to
I
figure
think they
out
fell
the
asleep
sequ-
together. I think they like.
But it's his.
But
face.
he left while she was still asleep.
But I'm saying, like, she would have seen it on his face. Like, Venom look a certain way.
I think he went to go become a Venom with Jack fucking Barlow.
I think it's
No,
like
he already
a
is one.
slower process. And
slow
I think
burn.
that all the other
Similar to
like
the slow
he's
fate of
so
our patients
tired,
for the
his
story.
eyes are bloodshot. He's like
Oh.
Similar to a zombie situation.
So it's not like you drain the power, you immediately turn with red veins. It's like
I don't think so.
you continue to take more and more power, and that's what gives you the look.
Yeah, over
So
time.
he's like a pre-Venom.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's like not fully.
maybe.
Maybe he's not all the way there, and it's fine. Maybe it'll
you
get
know what
reversed.
would be terrible.
Oh,
You know
sure.
what would
I
be
bet that's
terrible. Can Venom procreate, and has he just impregnated?
Ooh,
So-
just like Twilight,
That's what I mean. It's
Weird alien baby.
alien baby,
So
Renesmee.
that is another fan theory that Violet's dad was already a Venom before she was born.
and
that's
Violet's
why
dad
she-
has the serum, the antidote.
Yeah, and that is why Violet is so much weaker. That's why her hair looks like that. Like, she's so different because her dad was a Venom.
Like a donkey.
Interest.
Like what? No, not that
Like
she's-
a liger.
Like that's what I'm saying. Like a werewolf vampire. What? From
A hybrid.
a hybrid. I'm trying to be respectful. God.
Oh my god!
You know, everybody knows exactly what I'm talking about. It's not crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you.
So, cross
My point is
species.
made. Across species.
Cross species mating.
Interspecies.
Interspecies. Yep.
So that's why her hair is a different color?
I think liger is.
I don't know, man.
She's a magical liger.
I've got to get out of here.
I do think it's telling that, like, this is a long ass book, and this is not a long ass episode.
I looked at the time and I was like,
speaking.
that's interesting that we've
We've spent a lot longer on a lot shorter books.
Revisit our Hook, Line, and Sinker episode that's 2 hours and 40 minutes
Yes.
long for a 300-page smut book.
Please.
we have spent a lot longer on a lot less.
So, I guess to rate this
How
book,
do we?
Okay.
Okay.
Smut, excellent.
Smut versus plot. If we're going to average the smut content and the plot content,
Do they cancel one another out?
it's got, I mean, I feel like, we're sitting at like,
Does the smut redeem the plot?
I think that it would if there were more of
there were
it.
more-
It's
if there
just
were-
so sparse. Like, it's so good.
It's so good
but
when
I
it's
think
there.
that the, like, quantity of it is insufficient to counteract
not.
all of the wrong holes. It's only wrong.
it's only wrong holes, and then there are 3 right holes.
3 instances in 6
and 600 pages.
I would just love to meet the people who actually.
I don't understand.
and so
what-
many times.
what brains do they have? Maybe they're in different fields and have different capacity for this kind of thing.
I need more arousal.
I need significantly
more stimulation.
a little more.
something to keep
Especially
me
since, like,
there.
Rebecca loves to throw in, like, Violet being like, oh, I'm so sore from last night. It's like,
Don't do that to
Don't
me.
do that.
Because she clearly, like, she's including the sex, she's alluding to the sex while
not-
saying, but like prioritizing the plot.
I don't.
Poorly. Poorly.
Poorly.
In
Yes.
a way that I don't enjoy.
The execution of the plot.
In a way that I did not endorse.
It's not worth it.
This book.
I
This
could
is
have
a-
done with incredibly less plot.
Yeah. This is 600 pages of exposition. That is all this is.
Yeah.
And there is a climax at the end of the book, the last couple pages of the book, but nothing is actually resolved. Not a single thing is resolved.
And especially the setup that we got in Fourth Wing of like, there's a revolution. Brennan, there's a revolution. Like, I feel that we were misled.
I thought so. Like Fourth Wing was like on
This
this
is not
slow
where I thought
uphill
this was
climb.
going.
It was like,
Right.
things are getting more intriguing. Things are getting more interesting.
Yes.
Oh, we're falling in love with mysterious Shadows Daddy. Oh my god, he's
Love
so
it,
hot.
love it, love it.
And then we get to the end. It's like, oh my god, there's this whole other revolution. There's my brother's alive. Whoa. So I thought when we got to Iron Flame,
That
it was
was
gonna
a whole arc.
we were gonna keep riding, and then it was gonna climax and crest, and like all this stuff was gonna happen. But
I love the dragon metaphor. But yes, it's this is like a plateau, a mediocre
Yeah,
plateau,
flat.
actually.
I thought we were going to get a lot more action of like, we're involved in the revolution now. Like, we're
Yes,
going to be,
that's what I'm
we're gonna
saying.
be doing things. We're meeting new people. We're like expanding. This is like a whole
Yes.
new world. And I loved at the end of Fourth Wing when it just like, the revelation recast
There's a new
everything.
city.
And
Yeah.
it's like,
Brennan's there.
What I thought was the setting of this story actually is not the setting at all. We
Yeah,
needed to
this is
like build
Valaris,
that
like,
world, but like,
yeah.
yes,
and then we just didn't get any of it. And we're back at the War College, and we're back at the parapet, and we're back at the. It's like, what are I thought?
the backdrop of
was
Tyrandor
hard
is
to-
great.
Sure,
That is
I
a
liked
wonderful
it.
backdrop
I liked
for
it.
this plot. To have us run around the whole damn continent.
No.
Like,
No, I
just-
couldn't remember the names of any of the places. Like,
It's a Hogwarts situation, but so much worse.
Worse.
It's like, but only at Hogwarts.
I
You're
could
just like
not tell
only
you the
going through
difference
torture
between-
training.
like Arisha and
there's no
Avavine are just, I
I
don't
don't know.
what
her.
are they?
I don't know her.
Oh,
I
Orisha's
stand
in
by my
Tyrandor.
theory. Okay, well,
Is it?
I stand by my
It's a
theory
city
that
in
this will
Tyrandor.
make a lot more
Oh.
sense with the rest of the books, but we don't have the rest of the books right now.
Yeah.
And I can say that Rebecca Yarros, this was risky because some of the fandom I could see just not reading the rest of the books.
Yeah, definitely.
Because this was annoying enough
yeah, for sure.
that it's like, oh, I don't like. I mean, it was arduous. Like if I would
was.
not, like, just for me personally, if I would have not had the podcast, I would not have read as much of it as
You wouldn't-
I would not
yeah.
have finished it, and it's debatable if I did finish it in the first place, but I finished it in an ADHD way. I would not have finished it at all.
Yeah.
like I would have just. My time isn't worth.
I
this.
did finish it, But I can see, especially depending on how much time passes before she publishes the next one, it would be very easy for me to see that the third one came out a couple of years from now and be like, nah, I'm not gonna
Because we
read them
stored
again.
this with so much frustration
Yeah.
in our brains.
And
you know?
I would read Fourth Wing again because it was great. But to already
love Fourth
know that I didn't love this one is going to be real hard for me to try and pick it
because
back up.
the next
with
book
this
is
one.
going to require all these fucking details that are
Yeah.
in this book.
I'm going to have
Because
to read it again. Because I don't.
ideally, I hope it was all for something. I hope
yeah.
that it all comes up in the
I
next
hope
one.
I learn who the fuck Eric Greycastle is, because I sure don't know who he is, and he's here all the time.
Eric.
The three siblings are now together. What are they going to do about that?
Cool, I
Is
guess.
there a revolution
Like, yeah,
involved?
I
Are they
don't-
going to
yeah.
fucking do anything?
I don't know. Who knows?
We can't know,
Who
actually.
knows?
Okay, so plot
gonna
versus
find out.
smut. We have decided they cancel each other out.
Yeah.
If you want to read a solid, really great, spicy scene, if you jump to that throne scene, it is really, really
It's
good.
great.
It is
Yeah.
beautifully written.
The
It is-
shower.
What was that, chapter
The shower.
37.
Yeah.
I think 37, 27.
And then 40 something, 47 or 48
Yeah.
is the throne scene. Beautifully written, so good. And the throne scene is all her pleasure. He is not
Yes.
involved.
That's why it's so fun.
Yeah, we love that.
Great. Truly.
I
No
also
notes.
love that scene because after he makes her come on the throne, they have an actual conversation.
They sure do.
About their feelings.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, "Hey, I think we should talk about maybe why you feel jealous and insecure and inferior. I think we should talk about that. Let's do
Yep.
it right now."
Yep.
Yeah.
Imagine.
Let's cover
I
that.
proved my point that you're not just here for me to fuck. Like, I love you, so
Yeah.
I want to talk to you.
Let's have a dialogue. Let's engage in some back and forth.
and
A conversation, a human conversation
Yeah.
that is interesting
Yes.
and
Great.
compelling.
Nice to see played out in a book like this
Yeah,
too.
100%.
Of like
Yeah.
super smutty, but then a little emotional intelligence to
Yes.
follow it up with.
Yeah, we appreciate a lot.
Here for it. Here for it.
this goes back to editing too. I think that there are some things in this book that are just out of order.
Yeah.
I think that scene needed to happen way earlier.
Yeah.
It would have been way less frustrating to be in Violet's head if we had just figured all of this shit out so
Yeah.
much earlier. And like some of the plot stuff, I'm like, if you had just taken it out or moved it somewhere else, it might have
Yeah.
made more sense. Like,
Maybe.
I feel like there were some times where she was like trying to introduce a plot point without giving everything away, but it was just confusing.
Yeah,
I just didn't understand what was going on.
It made me feel a little crazy sometimes.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
She would just be talking about things
It made
as
me
though
feel
I
crazy.
knew what they were, and I was like, "Am I dumb? Have I like missed this completely?" But it's like, no, this is the first time that this is.
It's just a complete turnaround from the first book where
Yeah.
like, we were praising the show Don't Tell. Like, you were showing us all of these things, like the war college,
100%.
and everything made sense.
An interesting idea is if this flavor came first, would we read if the order was flipped? I know the plot wouldn't make sense if the order was flipped, but if like this energy was the first book and the second book was Fourth Wing,
I would have been a lot less excited about it.
Yeah,
I don't know that I
it's the
would
hype
have
for me.
because this is a similar situation to ACOTAR and
Yeah.
ACOMAF in some ways because with
It's
ACOTAR
like, if
we
you
had
can
to-
trudge through the first book, you're
it's
golden.
worth it.
Yeah.
It's this is actually going to go somewhere.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like it was the opposite, which is not actually the direction we want to go
Yeah.
in.
Yeah, it was just a sharp left turn. Especially, like,
So unexpected too. I think that definitely the expectations were super high for me, and of course that always makes it more disappointing when you're like really looking forward.
Truly.
'Cause I
Hope
think-
Springs Eternal. I'm
Yeah.
excited for
I'll read it for
Yeah.
sure. I'll read the third one and however many more come out in the series, unless the third. If it doesn't get much better in the third one, like if we're reading
Yeah.
the third one and it's like, no, this still sucks. I still have
Then
all
I
the
really
same
might-
complaints. I still
Really might
have.
not.
I feel like
Yeah.
I might want to vet, like, some of our girlies on Goodreads who get advanced copies of things. Like, I might vet
Yeah.
their reactions. And
Yeah.
well,
see what they say.
Yeah.
Get their reactions to Iron Flame because I feel like I'm curious, and maybe listeners, y'all chime
Yeah.
in. If y'all really loved Iron Flame, yeah,
Who?
you've heard
Where?
our
Where? Make yourselves.
explain yourselves, please. But I love alternate viewpoints. Like I think that whatever, that's cool. I'm not going to shoot you down. I'm
For
cool.
sure.
But and like why?
we need to
Tell me why.
Help me to like it better.
Yeah. Hey,
I would
Leslie,
love to like
Leslie,
this
if you're
book better.
listening, can you tell us why you like this better than Fourth Wing?
Was it Leslie?
Is that? I thought
Leslie.
it was. Okay. Yeah, wow.
Hi, Leslie. If you're listening, chime in.
Tell me
Well, send us a
everything,
voice note.
Leslie.
We'll play it on the podcast.
Was it
Please
just because of the throne?
Which is a good
Valid.
reason.
Sure.
Is it because Violet's feet couldn't touch the ground in the throne?
Oh, that was.
Leslie is about 5 feet tall.
Just kicking her little peeps.
I mean, it's relatable. I'm short girl. Hey, it's relatable.
Good stuff.
Cutie.
I just don't think it was worth 600 pages of.
That's what I was going
it
to
just
say.
wasn't
So,
quite
Fourth Wing,
payoff.
to put this in perspective,
Yeah.
gets everything done in about this much.
Yeah.
There is all this extra crap that you could just take out. I'm holding a physical copy of the book.
But like this was distributed so frequently that
Yeah.
it was hella irritating.
So Fourth Wing gets the whole plot in the smut and everything done in less than 500 pages.
Yeah.
And it's perfect.
Yeah.
But we thought that this would be even better because there's more.
Yeah.
Right.
When we saw like, oh, big chunky iron flame, I was like, oh my
Hell
gosh,
yeah.
so much more smut. So much
Quantity
more.
hell
is
yeah,
not
hell yeah.
always.
There's not more smut in this book. It's
just-
about the same.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
it just was really rushed. I feel like
Yeah.
it wasn't edited as well as it could have been in terms of like.
It's hard to rush art. It's hard to rush like
Yeah.
this. Yeah. Can you imagine like a really thorough editing process?
It just needs
and
more
some
time.
advanced readers, like some folks really reading this and saying,
Yeah.
this is a lot. I'm confused. Because
Right.
like if all three of us were like,
Like I'm a pretty smart person, and
Yeah.
I read quite a bit.
for this to
My
be
reading comprehension has always been.
I've
I
always
get it.
scored very high
high
on reading
score.
comprehension.
Like,
understand what
yeah.
I have other things,
Yeah.
big areas, but like reading comprehension, I got it.
Yeah.
But, like I don't get it sometimes. And I'm hopeful. Hope springs eternal. I'm hopeful that in the third we will it will make sense.
Well, surely I'm curious about.
that would be very satisfying.
Yeah, it really would be. I'm curious about. I haven't really read a lot of other reviews or like a lot of other
Yeah, it
opinions.
makes me curious what the Goodreads.
Yeah, what do other people say? And is Rebecca going to hear us and take some of this
She better.
I
into
mean-
consideration? Because I feel like in a lot of the acknowledgments that I read, I have no idea how this works. I don't mean to be yucking anybody's editing skills, because
Okay,
I have
we
no
talk about this
fucking
on the
clue.
pod
We don't
frequently.
edit.
I'm
Of like
not like
we have not written a book.
I'm not bringing a knowledge to this,
Yeah.
but I have a lot of curiosity
But I do
because
read a lot.
I've seen other authors talk about the magic that happens when they have a good relationship with their editor, and
Yeah.
like even in terms of just like
Maybe she
pacing
had a
and plot.
different
Like maybe it was
editor.
someone different that
Or
wasn't.
maybe the editor had a different boss with different
Yeah.
pressures and different timeline.
who knows?
It's tough.
So,
yeah, it makes me curious.
The Goodreads rating is pretty high. Higher. I mean,
Oh, yeah?
I think we rated it pretty high, but
Well,
I'm
and
going to go change that because I don't necessarily agree. I don't think it's 5
I think that's
stars.
fair. Well, you reread it too, and you were like, no. this
So
doesn't
it's got
hold
4.35 on Goodreads, which is really high
Yeah.
for a Goodreads book. But the general consensus I'm seeing in reviews is that did I like the book? Yes. Is it better than Fourth Wing? No.
no, hard no.
up. Yeah.
Hard
I
no.
liked it, and reading it on a timeline, 0 out of 10. Do not recommend. Do not recommend reading this on it with a deadline.
I feel a little bad because I think there are parts of this book that I deeply, deeply love. The spicy scenes
Yes.
are
Yes.
good. There are some
I've read worse.
Yeah. Oh, 100%.
Absolutely.
There are action scenes in this book that I was truly engaged in.
There were some,
Yes.
heart racing.
Yeah,
like,
I'm excited.
Yeah,
I'm in
this
it.
was better than ACOTAR.
I agree. It's better than the first
Okay.
Avatar book.
Okay.
And maybe Crescent City, maybe better. I don't know. I haven't read those, so I can't speak to them.
Let me
Sorry
tell you,
if that's
Crescent
treasonous.
City is a chore.
Okay.
I have been trying to read it for so long, y'all.
the politics.
It's like I feel like an idiot when I'm reading it. It's like this, where like you're just dropped in the middle of this world and you're like, and she's saying all these things expecting you to know what she's talking about. I'm like, I don't know what the fuck. There's like people who have tails and there's also regular people, and I don't understand. I don't get it. I don't get it. I feel dumb when I read
Thanks.
it.
Yeah.
Anyway,
That's not what I'm here for. I'm not here to feel dumb.
No. Anyway, so
I spend my time in other ways.
that all I have to say is like if you love this book, like
we
we said,
see why.
yeah, 100%.
We see why you'd love it.
I respect it deeply. I think
We're tired.
there's a chance that I might
We're
love this
old and
book
we're tired.
in
That's-
retrospect.
Okay.
If this series comes to a conclusion that
That's
makes
what I'm saying.
sense,
I have an openness to it
Yeah.
getting much, much better from here.
I stand by if the third and
That'd be
fourth
great.
make this one make sense.
That'd be great.
Make it worth it.
That'd be
then
great.
then I forgive this.
I think I can like this book in retrospect in light of the other books.
But if
Right.
we get more of this,
Yeah.
I'm
And
going to
if-
be upset.
I'm ready to be pleasantly surprised.
Me too.
That would
And
be
I
great.
think she's got it. I mean, Fourth Wing was a
The first one-
banger.
So good.
We talked about that in the episode for Fourth Wing too. Of like, I haven't been hooked and like kicking my little feet and giggling and reading since Akamath. Probably,
I felt
like,
like
in
a
that
little
same
kid.
way.
I was
Like
like,
it
oh my
was
God.
like,
Like,
and that's not how I felt.
so
reading
exciting.
this.
no.
Did not feel that. And so that was disappointing. Second book syndrome is real, but this was something else also. This was a co-occurring disorder.
Yeah.
But yeah, there was a lot of, if you loved this book, we love that. We affirm you. We can have different opinions.
Yeah.
That's the fun of fiction, is we all get to love different things.
And I will reiterate that if there isn't a world in which Violet and Xaden are not in game, we will not be reviewing any more of these
Yeah,
books.
Rebecca,
That's upsetting.
we're going to need for you to really take note that all I could think of was violent things that we could do and say, and so I'm not going to say any of those, but we would be upset.
We're gonna be upset.
We're going to be
I
mad.
have
We're not gonna be happy about
invested
it.
some money into these very beautiful copies of these books, and so
Would you burn them?
no, I would never do that. I would donate them, but I just feel like
You would donate them symbolically if they were not in game.
I mean,
If Violet, I would
I
say nope.
historically just don't like love triangles in general. I find them to be very annoying, and I don't like the angst of it. I'm too old for the angst of a love triangle, and so I'm not here for that.
Sure.
And
So if there's a love triangle, we
we're done.
beached out.
I'm out.
But yeah, there's a lot of ways this could go because there's a lot of fucking information.
Yeah, 100%.
There's a lot of ways because there's a lot of things.
Yeah.
Yep, and then I think we stand by our ratings of the characters last book.
Yeah, same
Xaden
characters.
is a 5 out of 5 male main character. Streets and sheets all the way.
Violet, we love so much. She's 20.
She's 20.
Did we say 4 stars? Like 3
Yeah.
stars?
She's doing her
she's
best.
great.
Like she's doing her best for what she is, and she's doing great.
And
for
she's figuring
being
it out.
20.
I agree.
Good for her.
Yep. I'm irritated and bored to read through all of it sometimes, but I get it.
But so
I
is
understand.
Taryn.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah, and
by far the most relatable. The voice of the people.
yes, Taryn's one
So
of us.
that
Utterly
was kind of a little
annoyed.
commentary. Maybe Rebecca was like,
She's like,
I know what I'm writing. I know
She's
this
like,
is the
I don't like
worst.
this character either.
We're all over it collectively.
Maybe she was putting her actual thoughts in the
yeah, yeah. And you know what? The consistency of Xaden and the consistency of Taryn in these
Yes.
books is what we love about it.
Absolutely.
We have our daddy Taryn, we have our zaddy Xaden,
Yes.
and that's why we keep coming back to these books.
That's right.
So this was fun to read together and review together, as always. It sparks joy for me personally.
Always. All right. Well, thank you all so much for listening to this episode on Iron Flame. If you have thoughts, and I know that you do,
Please share.
you can share them to us at smutisbetterwithfriends@gmail.com or on our socials at smutisbetterwithfriends.
Agree,
And
disagree, tell us.
yeah, we'll take it all. We want to chat with you all about this book because there's a lot of hot takes out there.
We love hearing from you.
We love it. So next time we will be reviewing The Hating Game, which is another
Yes.
Fun.
popular
Beauty.
TikTok rom-com situation. So
We're excited for it.
if you want to read along, go ahead and grab Kindle copy, physical copy, whatever brings you joy.
Yes, y'all
we will
got
probably have all
time.
3.
Yeah, y'all
As we
got
like
2
to do.
weeks. We like this like reading time space for folks to
Yes.
yeah. Enjoy, guys. We are looking forward to reading with you. The
That's
weather will
right.
get warmer.
We'll feel happier.
We'll all be good.
It'll be so much better. All right, y'all. Until next time, my house, my chair, my woman. Bye.